false start because Stoke had taken the kick-off and had a couple of players in the Norwich half. So now we do get underway. Stoke in the red and white stripes. They're going to be defending the Barclay end of Carrow Road in the first half. Norwich in yellow and green. Norwich tend to like to attack the Barclay in the second half, so I wonder whether they've lost the toss here, Norwich, or maybe they've sensed with the sun just dropping behind the other end, it might cause a problem for the Stoke keeper early on. But it's Stoke who's showing early here. First minute, Chamadou crosses from the right, Cordoba is there to cut it out, and Norwich have it back, and then Slimani plays the ball back into his own box, gives it away, it bounces off a Stoke player. Now Stoke do get the ball in from the right. There's a looping header goalwards from Baker, wide of the post. 30 seconds on the clock, and Stoke already showing intent.
Yeah, and again, you know, Norwich's own making, really, trying to play their way out from about 2 yards from their goal line, and yeah, just a poor pass. I thought it was handball by the Stoke player, but not given, and he did manage to put a cross into the box, but the header didn't have a lot on it and amounted to nothing. But chance for us to sort of get some sort of momentum and possession going now.
And Cordoba starting a league game for the first time since before Christmas, when he was sent off at Sunderland. Hasn't been able to get back into the starting lineup since. But with Callum Doyle suspended and missing a league game for the first time this season, the opportunity is there for the Panama international to come into the side. Norwich in possession, with Slimani looking to get it out to the left-hand side. Early touch here for young Mahovo, who keeps his place in the team. Sixth game in a row that he started, and he slotted in so seamlessly there. It almost goes without comment now that Lucien Mahovo at 19 is now Norwich's starting left back. He's on the ball again here, found by Cordoba. Pushes it forward towards Sainz, but Stoke are in quickly, and they've got the ball back now with Rose, who will go all the way back to goalkeeper Victor Johansson, who was Rotherham's goalkeeper when they were relegated last season. He was on the wrong end of a 5-0 defeat here just under a year ago, when Norwich scored some spectacular goals. That was the day that all the Norwich scorers started with S. Sarah and Sainz and Sorensen, and Sargent, of course, on the mark in that game as well. Norwich in possession, drawing 0-0 with Stoke City. Pleasant afternoon here at Carrow Road. Bit of breeze, but nothing that's going to impact the game. And the ball is back with Shane Duffy, who is now the only Norwich player to have started every league game this season. He's found Fisher on the right-hand side. Fisher rides a couple of challenges, sets off in field, then is dispossessed, and Stoke win it back on halfway, but a poor pass from El Hamadi is giving it straight back to Fisher, and the Canaries in possession. Here's Sorensen, whose inclusion in the midfield seemed to have raised a few eyebrows, judging by what Rob was telling us before the game. Slimani tries to slide it in behind the Stoke defence. He's found Sainz. Sainz cuts inside, edge of the penalty area. Sainz lays it off. Here's Nunez with an opportunity from the angle. Oh, he's put it wide. Glorious chance for Marcelino Nunez. Great break from Norwich City. Slimani picked out Sainz. He took the game to Stoke, laid it off to Nunez, who could have taken that first time, but seemed to want to wait. And when he did, he dragged it across the face of goal. What a chance.
Yeah, great chance. And I just wonder, you know, we talked about Sainz and his goals drying up 3 months ago. I think Sainz takes that shot on the edge of the box, and he's in a great position, 18, 19 yards out. I think he has a go there. Still nothing wrong with the pass, puts Nunez into great position, and yeah, like you, I was expecting to hit the first time. It just opened up lovely for him, but he took a touch and then didn't manage to hit the target.
It was a glorious opportunity, wasn't it? It was the sort of opportunity that Josh Sargent's been thriving on, slightly to the right of goal, with a chance to shoot across the goalkeeper. You look at Sargent's goals since he's returned to the Norwich starting lineup, and a lot of them have been from that sort of position, but this time it was Nunez who got in, and he dragged it wide. It's an early let-off for Mark Robins and Stoke City. Norwich have given the ball away, and it's collected by Phillips at the heart of the Stoke defence. They've had an early warning. Back it goes to Johansson. It's a terrific manager, Mark Robins. Did a brilliant job in all those years at Coventry. Got them into the playoff final, notably, of course. But he's never managed to beat Norwich as a manager. 10 attempts, lost 8 of them. Norwich have got a good record against their former striker when he turns up at Carrow Road as manager.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that chance again. Like, you know, his side should be 1-0 down now. You know, it's not a half chance that we've sort of...
Duffy plays one over the top, looking for Sargent. Goalkeeper comes out of his penalty area to head it away, and only then does the flag go up for offside after Sargent had made an attempt to go for the ball.
Yeah, I do like that, the choice to do that, because so many times the flag stays down, Sainz then ends up running into the goalkeeper. Both of them come, but one of them potentially gets hurt, and then the flag goes up, and you think, well, you know, why avoid all of that? Put the flag up early, which he did. But yeah, trying to defend Nunez here with that chance, but it's a clear-cut chance as you're going to get. You know, you're talking about a little bit of an angle, but 10 yards out, and should be scoring that.
I wonder whether he could have taken it on a bit early, but a bit earlier than he did. But anyway, the ball's been played forward by Stoke. Cordoba cuts it out. I suppose the question is, do you think they'll get a better chance during the game this afternoon? You'd think it was unlikely, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But we'll see. Sykes loses possession, goes down, no foul given. Stoke building on the right-hand side. It's been a lively start. Seiko puts a high ball into the Norwich penalty area. It comes out towards the left-hand side, and Bate controls. The Korean taking on Fisher. Lays it off now for the cross to come in from Stevens. Really good cross towards the far post. Mahobo has to head it away. Really important header from the youngster. But Stoke sends something here on the right-hand side. Chemedou forward from full-back. Poor pass from him. And it's gone behind for a goal kick. We're in a really interesting time of the season now, aren't we? Because you get through the long winter months and quite often teams come to Carrow Road, particularly if they're struggling, and they like to keep men behind the ball and make sure they don't lose the game. But now, when you're struggling towards the bottom of the table as Stoke are, you need to keep winning games. So it may be a bit more open.
Yeah, it was. And you can see how Stoke, a couple of times they've been on the ball already, like to get it out wide, like to put a hanging cross into the box and get somebody on the end of it. So Norwich just got to be wary of that. But I just, like we see a lot here at Carrow, I expect it to be a game where Norwich have a lot of possession. It's just whether they can use that possession well and create chances. But like you say, we've already had a really, really good one.
Gunn plays it long. Gunn did have a loan spell with Stoke a few seasons ago. 15 games for them in the 2020-21 season. Here's Sorensen in midfield, helps it on to Slimani. Back to Sorensen, nice link up in the Norwich midfield there. Crowd appreciating that. And Mahobo takes possession on halfway, gives it back to Jakob Sorensen. His last goal was in that 5-0 against Rotherham, past this goalkeeper. Oh, down goes Sykes, sent staggering to the floor. Challenged there by Tatsuki Seiko. And a free kick for Norwich City halfway inside the Stoke half, which they've taken quickly. Looking to try and keep the tempo up here as high as they can. It's 0-0 after 6.5 minutes, but Norwich have had a glorious chance already that Nunez couldn't take. Duffy brings the ball forward for Norwich City. Out to the right-hand side and Callum Fisher. Fisher to Sorensen. His route forward is blocked, but Fisher's picked up the loose ball. He's fed Nunez, is popped up on the right wing here. Level with the Stoke penalty area. Delivers the cross, just in front of Sargent, and the goalkeeper gathers it. But I think the Norwich fans are applauding the intent here. They're not standing on ceremony. They're not wasting opportunities to get at the opposition, which has been a bit of a criticism in the last couple of home games where they laboured to a draw against Derby and then lost to Preston. Yeah,
a good ball in by Nunez. I didn't see Sargent's run, but it's just one of those that, if he gambles and gets across the front of the keeper, he's got to tap in from a couple of yards. I haven't got perfect view of it from this angle, but I might be doing him a disservice, but it looked like the keeper picked that ball up quite easily from the centre of his goal. And it was a lowest driven ball into the box and just begging for somebody to make a run across or gamble across the front of the goalie and tap it in. But
as he did at Hull last week with that wonderful headed equaliser from Fisher's cross. No sign of the squirrel on the pitch today yet. We'll have to keep a close eye, won't we? A lot of people enjoying that last week. As Stoke try and play a direct ball forward, it's cut out by Duffy on halfway. He returns it. A bit of scruffy play ensues, and it's down for Nunez to get his foot on the ball now and bring possession back for Norwich City, who have only won 2 of their last 8 matches and do have a good record against Stoke. In fact, haven't lost any of their last 8 games against Stoke. 2 sides played out a 1-1 draw earlier on in the season. Cordoba picking out a nice pass along the left wing there to Mahobo. Mahobo knocked off balance and Stoke pick up the loose ball and back it goes to Johansson. And that is the one thing we're talking about, Norwich being short of options in midfield. Doyle suspended today, but you've got a ready-made replacement in Cordoba to slot in, and already his distribution's been good. We'll talk about that in a moment. Stoke beginning to come forward now with Moran on the right-hand side. It's on loan from Brighton. Goes back to Chemedou. And Stoke have just retreated back to the halfway line. That's allowed Norwich to get players back behind the ball. Here's Ben Pearson, who's just back from a long-term injury. His attempted through ball is cut out by Slimani. Now, if Norwich can move the ball quickly here, they've got an opportunity. It's Nunez in the centre circle. He does move it quickly, and he's released Sykes into the Stoke penalty. Here goes Sykes, plays it across, and it's really good defending from Ash Phillips. Sargent was lurking in the centre of the goal. Any touch on that, and he would have scored. But Phillips intercepts the cross and puts it behind for the first corner of the game. 0-0. But I think the Norwich fans are encouraged by just how quickly the team are breaking on Stoke here.
Yeah, and that's a real positive how we're able to get at Stoke. Again, Sainz finds himself in a good position, and I'm begging for him to take a shot on. He's opted to square past to Sargent. Defender's done well to get a toe on it because I think Sargent's got an empty net tap in, but corner to Norwich. But like you say, positives and promising
opportunities for Norwich. Sargent comes into this one since he returned to the starting lineup against Swansea. He's scored 5 goals in 5 games. And he was nearly on the end of that one. Can he get on the end of this? Corner to Norwich City, the first of the game in the 10th minute. And Marcelino Nunez, who's back in the starting lineup, is just placing it carefully in the corner quadrant. The flag, the yellow flag on the corner flag hanging limp. No real breeze around the ground at the moment as Nunez delivers in towards the near post. It's headed away by Stoke. Comes to Callum Fisher, who's about 35 yards out. Returns it to Nunez on the right-hand side. Maybe the chance hasn't yet gone for Norwich City. Nunez plays a difficult ball there forward for Sorensen, but he's made something of it in the penalty area. Sorensen cuts it back, but doesn't pick out a teammate. Norwich retrieve possession again, halfway inside the Stoke half. Mahoba plays it towards the left wing where Sainz is waiting for it. Norwich putting the pressure on. Sainz's cross headed away well by Phillips. Slimani tries to retrieve it, being challenged by Al Hamadi, who's on the ground. Play continues. Wasn't a foul. Fisher gives it to Mahovo. And now Sorensen, who did so well to make something of that pass from Nunez, but then couldn't pick out a decent pass of his own, and Stoke were able to clear. Norwich come again. Dobbin on the right-hand side, 0-0. But it's been a bright start from Norwich City. They look capable on this form of opening Stoke up and creating chances. Already have done. It's just about whether they can take one of them. Cordoba moves it towards Mahovo on the left-hand side. Mahovo back to Cordoba. And it remains 0-0. Stoke keeping it tight at the moment, very compact. Going to throw a blanket over the centre-backs and the striker at the moment, as Nunez now does work one over the top. Sainz has made a run. Oh, there was no flag, but he couldn't quite bring it under control, and it's gone through to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, good run, good ball. Just a little bit ahead of Sainz, couldn't quite bring it down, run onto the goalkeeper. But again, you know, promising stuff.
Well, we don't want to talk up a goalless draw or Norwich drawing a blank here, but they look capable of creating chances here, don't they?
They
against
do.
the Stoke team.
They do. It looks like one of those games where you just feel if that first chance would have gone in, they could have just opened up on Stoke. But you know, as it stands, we're still 0-0, and like we've seen with Norwich before, you know, we've had 20-30 minutes of positive spell and without scoring, and then the opposition go and nick a goal.
Well, just giving it away here, Norwich deep inside their own half. That is robust from Cordoba on El Hamadi. And the striker who's on loan from Ipswich is crumpled in a heap in the penalty area. It wasn't a foul. Cordoba just got to the ball first, and El Hamadi just sort of ran into it, and he hasn't got up yet. Fisher on the right-hand side. Now he is up, and he's okay. Dobbin gives the ball to Nunez on halfway. Nunez looks hungry so far, but he's been tackled there, and the ball bounces out of play in the end for a throw-in. Go Norwich's way in their right-back position. 0-0, 12 minutes played. But yeah, we're just making that point earlier on. No Doyle, but Cordoba, he slots in, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's picking up a lot, and you know, out wide or back inside to Duffy, but a lot seems to be going through him at the moment, and he's not been impatient in possession. You know, he's picked the right passes at the right time. He's not in a hurry to get the ball forward, which, from what people have told me, we've sort of seen with Norwich in recent weeks. So it feels quite patient, quite composed. Obviously, we'll want to get that first goal.
Sainz on halfway, up towards Sargent. Lovely ball from Sargent now to Fisher, who's arriving with intent on the right-hand side. His cross, Dobbin couldn't get there, it's been cleared away. Back to Fisher, corner of the penalty area now. Here's Nunez, who's just trying to bring it out of his feet. He's gone down, and he's been given a free kick right on the edge of the box here. There's Lewis Baker with the foul, scored from inside his own half last week in Stoke's win over Swansea. He's pleading his innocence, but I suppose you'd say he gave the referee a decision to make there. He did put the foot in, didn't he, to Nunez, when really Nunez was struggling to bring it under control.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at it in real time, looking at it on the replay, never ceases to amaze me, players, when a referee gives a decision against them. You know, both hands go up in the air, and but yeah, you know, foul in a dangerous position, looking like Nunez on the ball. I don't know whether it's for him to have a shot on goal, a little bit wide out, but lined up, looking like he's looking to deliver it into the box for someone to get on to the end of.
Yeah, it's almost on the corner of the penalty area, the right corner of the penalty area. Well, that a Nunez free kick goal for a while. This one he's going to go. Oh, he did try to go for the near post and put it wide. A few oohs and ahs around the ground. I think from some angles that looked close that it actually was. Can't blame him for having a go, because the goalkeeper had left a big gap at his near post, but it's almost like a postage stamp size gap he's trying to fit the ball into there, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're going to go for goal there, I'd stick a left footer on that and try and bend it in, but yeah, you know, unlucky. But
well, 0-0, but the way Norwich have started this game, it's been encouraging, hasn't it? The zip, the speed of movement, the way the forward players are linking up. Just whether they can turn it into a goal. And also keep the door shut at the back, because Stoke have played one through here for Al Hamadi. Gunn comes out of his goal. Al Hamadi knocks the ball past Gunn, and it goes behind for a goal kick. He did the right thing then. Gunn had to come out of his goal because he could see Duffy was struggling to keep pace with Al Hamadi. And just the presence of Gunn forced Al Hamadi to play it, and it was a heavy touch and wide it goes. But this is an open game, isn't it?
It is, and you know, but how many times have we said that with Norwich? You know, we've had 20 minutes, 30 minutes of good possession and created chances. We haven't taken one, and we find ourselves 1-0 down. And You know, Duffy got caught out in behind there, and you know, Norwich just need to be aware of the Stoke threats. But Cordova back on the ball, slowing things down, ready to sort of build up hopefully another productive attack.
0-0. We've talked a lot about Norwich's goal-scoring exploits this season, among the Championship's top goal scorers. But they still have this nagging problem of only one clean sheet at home all season, which has been a problem. That was against Hull when they had to change goalkeepers at half-time. So Angus Gunn hasn't kept a full clean sheet for 90 minutes at home yet this season. Here's Nunez back to Duffy, and he gives it to Angus Gunn, who was did the right thing a moment ago, coming herring out of his penalty area to make sure Stoke couldn't break. So goalless after 15 minutes. Norwich now moving the ball to Callum Fisher on the right-hand side. Nunez inside. Certainly with him in the team, there's much more movement and passing ability in the Norwich midfield than there was at Hull last week when they struggled from the start. Slimani has had the ball for a long time here and was closed down well by Seiko, and he's telling Callum Fisher where he was expecting him to be and where he should have been in his mind. And in the end, Norwich have had to play the ball back into their own half to keep possession. Slimani on the ball again. In midfield for Norwich City. Low pass towards the right-hand side, but he's given it away. Right, intercepted, plays the ball into the penalty area. Really poor cross, and it's cut out by Gunn.
Yeah, and ironically, Callum Fisher was there telling Slimani where he wanted the ball.
Yes, they're not quite on the same wavelength yet, those two, are they?
No, but just going back to that Angus Gunn stat, or the Norwich not keeping a clean sheet at home, that's incredible.
Now, long diagonal ball forward from Norwich. Fisher is chasing onto it. They'll do well to keep it in. He just about got to the ball, but only as the ball bounced behind for a goal kick. So still much to admire about Norwich's start. It's just whether they can open Stoke up properly. They've had a couple of really good opportunities already. Nunez dragging it wide, and then there was a couple of crosses into the box that Sargent hasn't been able to get on the end of. But hope for these Norwich City supporters who've turned up in good number. Stoke, a side who are struggling this season, relegated from the Premier League in 2018, having had a good few seasons up there. Never really looked like going back. They've found it really difficult, haven't they? And you look at all the managers who've had a go, and amazing how many of them have had Norwich links. They were relegated under Paul Lambert. They've had Alex Neil, Narcis Pilat recently, and now a former Canary in Mark Robbins.
Yeah, and we were talking before the game about the disruption of having to sort of change players and formation, or not formations, but personnel within your starting 11 at regular intervals during the season. Imagine what it's like to having to deal with changing your manager 3 times.
Yeah, Stephen Schumacher started the season. Narcis Pilat left Norwich City to take over at Stoke. Lasted 19 games, 3 of which were wins. Here's Dobbin for the Canaries. Running at Stoke here and doing well up towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got into the box, still going, and then he gets tackled. Sorensen works hard to win it back. 20 yards out, Sorensen. Nice play from him. He's picked out Fisher on the right-hand side. Level with the penalty area. Loads of yellow shirts forward. Fisher opts against the cross. Plays it back to Nunez. And now Sorensen. And all those players, I think there were 5 of them in the penalty area, never got the ball in to try and get on the end of. So Norwich have worked it all the way back to the halfway line now. Fisher seemed in a great crossing position there.
He did, yeah, and it's a few times, you know, with Sainz and Nunez in shooting positions where we just, for whatever reason, wanting to take that extra touch and not taking the opportunity when it's there. But you know, that may be a confidence
nice
thing.
Link up from Sargent. Dobbin now gives it to Sargent. 25 yards out. Fisher in the penalty area. Callum Fisher wayward for Norwich City once again. They're opening up Stoke beautifully with some quick passing deep in the half. But once it's been Nunez, and on that time it was Callum Fisher getting in that sort of position where Josh Sargent thrives. If they could just get Sargent into that area, you'd fancy them. But it's the players who are not quite as so proficient in front of goal who are bursting in at the moment.
And while it's promising, we're getting ourselves in those positions, and we should never lose sight of that. What we found is we've had Fisher and Nunez in almost identical positions, and neither of them have hit the target.
Well, the last season, Norwich beat Stoke 1-0 here. And the winning goal was scored by the right-back, Jack Stacey, that's his only goal for Norwich City. Fisher has never scored for Norwich City. Right back today, and he nearly found himself there. It was a good opportunity, but he didn't look like a natural goal scorer the way he took that shot on, did he?
No.
Oh, that's a foul on Slimani, and a free kick for Norwich City. They've got Stoke rattled here. They've got them worried. I mentioned how it would be good to have Sargent in those shooting positions, but the trouble is he's been so integral to the build-up, hasn't he, as Chembadu is booked for that challenge. He's been so integral to the build-up, holding it up, playing some quick passes. He's bringing Sainz and Slimani and Nunez into the game. But the trouble is if he's doing that outside the penalty area, he's then not in the box.
Yeah. And you know, Callum Fisher strikes me as a guy that's, you know, technical ability, he has it, and I bet in training 99 times out of 100 he buries that from that position. You know, the keeper really shouldn't have any chance from there.
Free kick to Norwich, and on the left wing, only just inside the Stoke half. It's been a bright start, but they haven't got the goal to show for it yet. We're in the 20th minute. Norwich City 0, Stoke City 0 at Carrow Road. Nunez from deep sweeps the free kick towards the edge of the penalty area. Dobbin controls well, but then gives it away to Lewis Baker. And the chance is gone. Here's by for Stoke, who will now threaten on the counter-attack, possibly with Baker on the left-hand side. Just doubles back to find Ender Stevens, the former Sheffield United defender. And in fact, they've gone all the way back to goalkeeper Victor Johansson. Played out as a 1-2 with Ash Phillips. There's Johansson, and then drives the ball towards Stevens on this left-hand side. He does well to head it on and stop him from going out of play for a throw-in. And then one bounce later, the ball does go out for a throw-in. And Norwich have it back. Not really criticise Norwich for the way they've gone about this game in the opening 20 minutes. It's just that lack of composure in the final third. They could easily have had a couple of goals here, couldn't they?
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, you know, from what we've seen so far from Stoke, a couple of early balls into the box, but I hope this makes sense. Stoke don't look like they can score at the minute, but you're always wary that Norwich can concede a goal. You're
absolutely right. We've seen it in recent games, haven't we? Norwich 1-0 up against Derby until the 92nd minute, gave away a penalty and conceded, and they switched off early against Preston and conceded. So yeah, until you score, you're always liable, aren't you? Here's Slimani, just inside the Stoke half, trying to play Fisher in the right hand side, but again it's Bai Jun-ho who's been able to intercept it and get Stoke back in possession and stop that Norwich attack from developing. Seiko to Baker, back heel from him, cut out by Duffy. Norwich go to work, and Nunez wins it back on halfway, finds Jakob Sorensen, who's urged to look forward by the Norwich City supporters. Sorensen, though, needs to find a good option because Stoke have got plenty of red and white shirts back behind the ball. It's gone to Jose Cordoba, 0-0. Cordoba to Sorensen again on halfway. He finds Dobbin, who's come infield to get involved in the game now. Norwich winger, allowing Fisher to hug the touchline outside him. Sorensen now picks out a pass to Slimani on the edge of the penalty area. He can't control. Moran back defending should clear, but Mahovo's pressing him and has got a foot to the ball and has blocked the clearance, and it's fallen for Slimani now in the penalty area. It goes on the outside. He's gone down rather dramatically in the penalty area, but even he isn't appealing for a penalty. Great play from Mahovo to press high up the field, but Slimani had the ball in the box and never looked fully in control of the situation.
No, he didn't, and it was good defending, to be fair. He showed him outside, and Slimani took it and was unable to get past and used his body well, the defender did there. But again, another promising position in terms of area on the pitch, but just not able to get a shot on target. And I don't even know, have we had a shot on target yet?
Not that I can remember. But then it's not always all about shots on target, is it? Norwich have had some glorious chances.
Yes.
I mean, the one from Nunez, that wasn't a shot on target, but it was a wonderful chance.
Yeah, and Sorensen's... No, Callum Fisher.
Yes, Callum Fisher as well. Both of those. I mean, this is where looking just at shots on target can be a bit misleading, because they were put wide, but they were both such good chances.
Yeah.
For Norwich City, but they haven't taken them. 0-0. Here's Sorensen through the midfield, picks out Slimani again. They're still linking up quite nicely in the early part of this game. Slimani now just stops inside the Stoke half, plays it back to Sorensen. Plenty of movement up front here. Sorensen hits a really poor pass towards the right hand side. Callum Fisher looks at him as if to say, I've got no chance of getting on the end of that. And it's out of play for a Stoke throw in the left back position.
It was almost like he'd seen a ball into Sargent and then changed his mind last minute and tried to switch it out wide and ended up doing neither. But still, you know, Stoke with the throw in a couple of yards from their own goal line is, you know, Norwich can press high and try and win the ball back high up the pitch here.
And that's just what they're doing. They want to throw in of their own. In the Premier League, Ipswich have got a goal down against Tottenham. Brennan Johnson, the goal scorer. His dad used to play for Ipswich, didn't he? Brennan Johnson's dad, David Johnson. And now Spurs one up at Portland Road. Here, 0-0 at Carrow Road. Encouraging signs from Norwich, but no finishing touches yet. Nunez and Fisher have spurned the best of the opportunities. Callum Fisher started 25 of the 34 league games Norwich have had this season, including today. Made that right back position his own now. Jack Stacey patiently waiting on the bench. Nunez, a nice diagonal pass to Mahovo on the left hand side. Now Slimani gives it to Sorensen. Sorensen swivels, he's got the whole Stoke team in front of him. Short to Slimani, now Sainz and Slimani again. Norwich moving the ball, but still have the whole Stoke team between them and the goal. Cordoba gives it to the skipper, Duffy. Played up towards Dobbin, and a quick pass from Dobbin, too quick. Fisher had no chance of getting on the end of that, and Norwich have given it away.
Be interesting to see what Stoke did if Norwich were able to nick a goal, because at the moment they just seem to have everybody behind the ball and seem quite content on seeing this game out 0-0.
And they'll argue their game plan's working, because they've not gone a goal down, but they could quite easily have been. I think, if anything, those early chances that Norwich had, well, they opened Stoke up pretty easily, have just encouraged Mark Robbins' team to just retreat into their shells a little bit, as Fisher plays one up through the middle here, looking for Sargent. He can't hold on to it this time, and Stevens tries to play it forward for Stoke, but it's intercepted by Sorensen. He's certainly putting himself about in the midfield today, Jakob Sorensen. Here's Duffy on halfway, 0-0. Duffy hits one up through the middle now. Sainz makes a darting run, gets there on the edge of the penalty area. Ball has Sainz, he's allowed to turn and dart towards the D. Now he's blocked off. Back to Nunez. Nunez is going to hit one, but it's charged down. Had to drive that one through a wall of Stoke players.
Yeah,
the movement's great.
Yeah, well, it was.
Norwich, isn't it?
Sainz took it well, found himself on his left foot, tried to cut back in on his right, and eventually had to lay it off to Nunez, whose shot was well blocked, but in good possession again now.
With Nunez looking for options. Sargent comes deep to help him. Here's Dobbin, good position, central position, 25 yards out, picks up Mahovo, wide left. Mahovo takes on his man and loses the battle against Morant. And Stoke have got it. Chamadou clears, but not with any great conviction. Rebounds eventually back for Stoke. They played up towards El Hamady, and now the counter-attack is on. El Hamady doing it all by himself at the moment on the right wing. But Jose Cordoba races past him, effortlessly takes the ball off him, and Norwich have got it back.
Yeah,
great
terrific.
defending.
Yeah, really good. And you know, forgetting Norwich had the ball deep in the Stoke half on the left-hand side, and you know, give possession up cheaply.
We talked earlier in the season, Johannes Softorp, about the importance of Cordoba and how Norwich can play a much higher defensive line when they've got him, because the pace he's got to do what he just did and get back and sweep up. It's only the 14th league game he started this season, though. Had one or two injury problems, and of course, quite often it's been Doyle and Duffy that the managers preferred.
Yeah.
Here is Cordoba, ball at his feet, 0-0. It's a diagonal pass over to the right-hand side. He's picked out Callum Fisher, halfway inside the Stoke half. Back to Nunez. Nunez to Sorensen in the centre circle, on to Cordoba. He's got Mahovo hugging the touchline on the left, but Hamady runs into Cordoba, and that means he can't play the pass that he wanted. He's gone back to Sorensen, who's doing the Kenny McLean thing of dropping in between the two centre-backs, and now the Kenny McLean thing of floating a great pass to the left-hand side. Mahovo's cross into the penalty area, it's high. Fisher's coming in on it, tees up Nunez on the edge of the penalty area, who's tackled, but the ball breaks out to the right wing for Norwich. Here's Callum Fisher. Nunez is with him, corner of the penalty area, sweeps the cross in. Dobbins' header, side netted. There's some lovely movement, some great moves from Norwich City. It's just lacking a finishing touch at the minute.
Yeah, did well there. Fisher Nunez worked it well to get the ball into the box, and lovely delivery, good header. You know, missed the target just, but you know, another good opportunity, another good chance.
Stoke have got a player down injured. And again, you made this point earlier on about shots on target, QT. There's a Stoke player down injured, and Johannes Softorp is calling his whole team over to him to try and get a few messages in. He must have spotted something. But yeah, shots on target is something that people talk about a lot. That's another one where Norwich have gone really close, but it hasn't been a shot on target.
No.
And yet, they've still carved out a good opportunity.
Yeah. Probably more of a chance than, say, somebody hitting the goalkeeper's chest from a 30-yard hopeful long shot at goal. But yes, I mean, there's still obviously a long way to go in this game. You'd want Norwich to get the goal sooner rather than later, because I think the longer the game goes on like this, the more and more settled Stoke will feel, and you know, the more and more they will keep people behind the ball, make it difficult for Norwich. But it's been promising without setting the world alight.
Yeah, 0-0. The injury to Ben Pearson, who is one of those real combative championship players. He's only just back himself from 11 months out with a hamstring injury. And this is his fourth game back, and he's being led away to the side of the pitch by the Stoke medical team. I wonder whether his injury curse might have struck. Again, Ben Pearson will keep an eye on it. Can't see that a substitute is ready. There's been another goal at Portman Road, and it's another goal for Brennan Johnson. Johnson Jr. for Tottenham has made it 2-0 against Ipswich. Brighton won up at Southampton as well in the Premier League. There's a sort of unofficial timeout there, wasn't there? Everyone got like American sport. Everyone got called over to one side, to the side of the pitch for an update on what the managers want. Mark Robbins and Johannes Softorp both very vocal. I think Pearson is going to come back on. Just a bit of a concern about something. Oh, is there a concern about the goal net? The Barkley end. The referee's just having a look at it. Victor Johansson has called him over. Not that Norwich have threatened it too much. I suppose Dobbin hit the outside of it, didn't he?
Yeah, but
it's
the
okay.
other side. But yeah,
it does look like, if you look on the monitor here, it looks like it's hanging slightly limply maybe on that right-hand post as the goalkeeper has it behind him, but it's no problem. Game continues, 0-0. Pearson's going to be okay to come back on in a moment for Stoke. With over Preston, of course, is Dobbin and now Sorensen in midfield. Norwich moving the ball quickly. Fans enjoying that, but can they get anywhere with it? That's a lovely sweeping pass from Duffy to the left-hand side. He's picked out Borja Sainz. Sainz up to the corner of the penalty area. Mahovo on the overlap. Gets the cross in, cut out at the near post and cleared away. And look, Pearson's just come back on the pitch and Stoke have played it to him, and because he's just come on, no one's with him. He's completely unmarked on the right-hand side, and he's been able to pick out Baye, who comes through the middle here for Stoke, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Fisher shadowing him all the way. Now it's been teed up for Baker here, 25 yards out. On the left-hand side, we've got Stevens on the attack for Stoke. Now Baker on the edge of the penalty area. Back to the left, and Stevens. He tees up Seiko, the midfielder. He finds Baker in the box. Baker stands it up towards the far post. It's going to go wide. And I think, had Stoke done something from that, you can see Angus Gunn is pointing at the referee now, there would have been real problems, because Ben Pearson, players aren't supposed to be allowed back on the pitch to play the ball immediately, but the referee let Pearson back on. He was standing by himself on the right touchline, and they just put the ball to him.
Yeah. It was a weird sort of turn of events. Norwich on the attack with the ball committed, full back forward, and yeah, it just almost like he'd ran on the pitch from nowhere. Like, nobody expected him to be here, to be there, and in the end, Stoke managed to mount an attack that eventually came to nothing, but quite a useful delivery in the end. But nobody really breaking the neck to get in the box for Stoke to get on the end of it.
0-0. Norwich carving out opportunities, a fair few of them, but they haven't taken them yet. Here's Mahovo on the left-hand side. Back to Cordoba. Cordoba to Mahovo. Gives it to Sorensen. Sorensen hits one forward early. Dobbin just chasing the channel, but the goalkeeper's going to come out of his penalty area. The bearded Victor Johansson, and clear it. Long, big booming clearance from him. Sorensen has to head clear for Norwich City, and he's done better than that. He's picked out Fisher. Fisher runs forward, then gives it to Nunez in the centre circle. Nunez splits the Stoke defence and releases Dobbin. Dobbin into the penalty area, trying to work a shooting opportunity, and he does, and he scores! That's the goal that Norwich City deserve. Nunez back in the team with the through ball. Dobbin with the composure to wait until the ball was in the right position for him to take the shot on, and the Canaries lead 1-0 against Stoke City.
Yeah, really well worked goal. You have to look at the monitor to see who was that played that initial reverse pass in, but it was a great pass. And then the ball into Dobbin, took it well, cut inside, showed real good composure, side foot, far corner, keeper had no chance. Nunez's pass, terrific pass, cuts back inside, opens the defence up on his right foot, maybe a little deflection, but still on target. And you've got to say it's been coming, Norwich have been creating chances, and now they've managed to finally take one. So, I hope that doesn't shut Norwich down now in terms of they've got the goal and we go within ourselves a bit. I hope we really take the game to Stoke now and see if we can get ourselves another one. But Stoke will have to do something different now because they find themselves a goal behind.
There's a really neat finish from Dobbin, and we've praised Norwich in the opening part of this game for the movement, and we just had the right winger Dobbin attacking from the left-hand side, and Nunez, this is why he's such a key player, perfectly weighted through ball. Dobbin dashed onto it. He didn't just snatch at the shot, he waited for it to sit up for him and then worked it across the goalkeeper and into the net. And Norwich do deserve that because they've had lots of chances. They've looked capable of opening Stoke up, but until they do, you're never quite sure. Now they have.
And you obviously commentate on the game. You should have seen more games recently than I have. But the bits that I've seen of Dobbin, I've been really impressed by. He looks a really useful player for us. Has that been the sort of felt sense for all of the games?
I'd sum up so far. This is 10th appearance for Norwich. That's his second goal. I'll come back to that in a moment as Mahovo has possession and left back for Norwich City. Goes back to goalkeeper Gunn. Norwich lead 1-0 against Stoke City. Lewis Dobbin with the goal. Yeah, Dobbin, he's clearly an intelligent player. We've seen him getting some great positions time and time again. If there has been a question mark, it's the old thing with wingers about how much end product is there going to be. Are you going to turn this into a goal or an assist? And he's got a lovely goal against Swansea here in the 5-1. And he took that one so well. He looks like a player who's certainly got the capability of turning clever play into goals and assists, as Sainz is fouled and gets a free kick. Even when Norwich lost at Sheffield United, there were several spells in the first half of that game where he'd got in some wonderful positions and beat the offside trap, but just couldn't then make anything happen. So he did today. Really good finish. But Nunez, what a difference he makes.
That ball in was absolutely class. On a plate for him, really.
Now Duffy trying to do likewise, but he's not quite Nunez, and it's been cut out by Stoke. They'll attack on the left-hand side, but Duffy's having none of that. He's better at that. He comes across and takes the ball away from Beijing-Ho and out for a throw-in.
I winced a little bit then. It's just one of those.
You can see Beijing-Ho didn't really like.
It was an opportunity for him to come and smash him if he wanted to, but he didn't. He sensibly just defended and dealt with it. But
Beijing-Ho was running onto a ball. He was probably second favourite for, and he knew it. And you could see that he perhaps wasn't going to commit to it. Only 21. Stoke's Player of the Year last year, Beijing-Ho, the Korean. He's got his first of the season last weekend when Stoke put Swansea to the sword, beat them 3-1, and the Swansea manager Rick Williams lost his job on the back of that. Stoke have gone back to their goalkeeper. It's not a good back pass, and Johansson does really well to control it actually, and take it around Sainz. But Michael Rose didn't do him any favours there, the former Coventry man, did he?
He did not, no. But he did deal with it really, really well.
Yeah, played under Mark Robbins at Coventry, Michael Rose, so I'm sure he would have welcomed the appointment of the former Norwich striker. Now, what have Stoke got? Can they respond? They're 1-0 down at Carrow Road to a Norwich team who've looked far more dangerous in this match going forward than they have in the last 2 or 3. And now they have the Lewis Dobbin goal to show for it. 1-0 they lead. So halfway with Rose. Seko, the Japanese midfielder, has come deep to get possession. Plays it out to the right-hand side in Chemadu, who was booked earlier on. Early cross from him. Duffy cuts it out. It's loose on the edge of the Norwich box. Slimani heads it away, and now Norwich can turn defence into attack here with Sainz on halfway. He's got 3 players up in support. Sainz trying to go it alone against the tough tackling Seko. Still has the ball there, does Sainz. But he's just held up and has to play the ball back into his own half and Sorensen. But the applause from the Norwich fans just appreciating how difficult Tatsuki Seko found it to get the ball off Sainz there. Norwich still have it. Oh, another great ball forward from Nunez. He's picked up Fisher on the right-hand side this time. Dobbin available in the middle in space, but Fisher turns that one down, dribbles in field himself and gives it to Slimani. First time ball forward from Slimani is a poor one, cut out by Chemadu. See Dobbin, again the fluid movement of this Norwich attack, got into a great position there, and Fisher just resisted the temptation to slide him in.
Yeah, and that's the one thing you mentioned it earlier as well about getting in intelligent positions. That's the one thing that, well, not the only thing that I've seen with him that I've been impressed by, but he does just seem to find them little pockets of space and manage to get himself in areas on the pitch with a little bit of space around him.
Here come Norwich again. Slimani linking up with Sainz, who bursts into the penalty area. Sainz gets the shot away, and the keeper does well to get down and make the save. But Sainz there seemed off balance, but with minimal backlift managed to just poke the ball goalwards, and Johansson was down smartly to save it. It's a shame that he was knocked off balance by a defender there, because if Sainz had been able to give that one full beans, it could well be 2-0.
It could be, yeah, and he did, really quick feet that he's got anyway. He showed that there and managed to get himself into a promising position, but just, the lack of backlift probably couldn't get the power on the shot that he wanted, and then in the end a comfortable save for the goalie. But
still the Championship's top scorer, Borja Sainz, despite the fact that he hasn't scored in his last 10 appearances. That's how good his start to the season was. Chemadu on the right-hand side for Stoke. 1-0 down Stoke City at Carrow Road. Lewis Dobbin with the strike on 32 minutes. We've now been playing for nearly 38. With a distant beat of a drum somewhere in the ground. Not quite picked out where that's coming from at the moment. Stoke in possession. Then to Stevens on halfway. Back to Rose. And now Ben Pearson, who's come from that earlier knock. Chips it out towards the right-hand side, and Chemadu. His debut for Colchester United at the age of 16, Junior Chemadu, but he's just given that ball away to Sorensen. Now Nunez races forward, squares it to Slimani, and now Sainz on the left-hand side. Sainz plays it up early. Sargent is not going to get on the end of that. It's going to go through to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, right ball, just execution was a bit off, too much power on it, and Sargent not able to get on the end of it, but he'd made the run. Sainz had seen him, but just not able to pick him out.
We'll talk about Mark Robbins and the great job he did at Coventry. Frank Lampard replaced him and is leading Coventry towards the playoff places. They're 2-0 up against Preston. West Brom lead 1-0 against Oxford as well. 1-0, so there's other teams around that playoff mix. If you think that Norwich have still got a chance of a playoff position, there'll be teams like like Coventry and West Brom they'll be looking at, and they're both winning at the moment, so really imperative Norwich don't lose any more ground. Dobbin, the goal scorer, on halfway. Plays it back to Cordoba. They were rushed past this time, and Cordoba will take control of the ball and give it back to Angus Gunn. Gunn passing it out to Sorensen. He's inside his own penalty area. Stoke are pressing here and trying to make it difficult for Norwich to get out of a tight spot. Fisher in the right back position does well, finds Nunez. Norwich still haven't got away from the edge of their penalty area, but Nunez is so composed, turns away from his man, finds Dobbin. Norwich playing out from the back nicely here. Looked a bit tense for a while. Dobbin, though, has slowed it down on the right-hand side. It's just allowed Stoke to get players back behind the ball, and you can sense Carrow Road just wanted Norwich to go coast to coast there, didn't they? Sweep the ball from one end to the other. They still might. They just might take the scenic route as Sainz is bundled over, and there's a free kick and a foul by Ben Pearson on Sainz, and then this is the sort. I mean, there's nothing in that, but you saw Sainz just reacting a bit. And
he hasn't shown the ref
Pearson.
a card. He hasn't
no.
allegedly spat at anybody. So progress in that sense.
You could just see there, and Ben Pearson is one of the chief wind-up merchants in the Championship, and he will fancy that he could get a reaction out of Sainz, and I'm just worried he was going to for a minute there, but he didn't. It's fine.
And that is that is something the players will be aware of. As a team, Stoke will be aware of that Sainz, has shown in the past that it can react to stuff like that. So he'll be getting that at different points of the game. All game, he's just going to have to learn to kind of get used to that, which he's done great so far. There's been a couple of occasions where he could have reacted and hasn't. It's just got up and got on with it.
1-0 Norwich lead on BBC Radio Norfolk. Nunez, high hanging ball out towards the left-hand side. Mahobo controls well. He's high up the pitch. He's got Sainz for support on the corner of the penalty area. Sainz wriggles away from his man. Finds Nunez on the edge of the box. Oh, quick feet from Nunez, but in the end Stoke had so many players back when he passed it, it was cut out. Brought away by and now he's found El Hamady on halfway. El Hamady dragged back by Callum Fisher. And he'll be lucky if he doesn't get a yellow card for that, Callum Fisher, because he tried to...
I think he was lucky in the sense that he'd already fouled him, because I think if he
hadn't,
hold of his shirt, so he'd already given the foul. But had he not, I'm sure he'd have been looking at yellow card.
Well, he didn't get it, and it is still 1-0 to Norwich City. 4 minutes to go to half-time. Norwich can they see off what's been a really encouraging first 40 minutes here for Norwich City. Dobbin's goal at the moment, the difference between the sides. Here's Stevens on the left-hand side for Stoke, though. He's made a good run in behind Fisher here on the Stoke left. Fisher stands up well, clears the ball, and then has it back at his feet in the right back position. That's just allowing Stoke to press up here, and Fisher does well to play it off by Junho. Now to play the throw into Norwich City. I know it is only 1-0, and often people say, well, that's the most important thing, but you look at the invention about Norwich today, the spark about them, that they've looked far more lively today than in recent matches.
Yeah, and it's been good, and you've maybe seen that with the chances that they've created. Maybe should have even taken, but they have got the goal. It's going to open Stoke up a little bit, because they've got to go and try and find a way to get back into the game. And we've just seen in the past with Norwich, they get a goal and it almost slows them down a little bit, and you want them to be mindful of the fact that they could concede, and Stoke haven't offered much of a threat, but we don't want to let them into the game. But you want them to still have that same level of positivity and creativity going forward, because a second goal, I think, almost certainly kills the game off.
Junho to Seko on this left-hand side. Back to Ender Stevens on halfway for Stoke as they look to try and finish the half on a high. Rose now to Seko, infield to Ben Pearson. Pearson closed down by Nunez, has to hit it from in the Norwich half all the way back to his goalkeeper. Kings Lynn Town have just got a goal down away at Darlington in that match in National North. Keep you up to date with that. We'll hear from Nick Bowler, the round up of all the other local scores at half-time, which is fast approaching. A couple of minutes away, plus stoppage time. BBC Radio Norfolk, Norwich City 1, Stoke City 0. If you're just joining us, Lewis Dobbins' goal. Really well taken on 32 minutes. But it's Stoke who are now enjoying their best spell of possession for quite a while. It's Baker in the midfield, who allows Pearson to take over. Behind him is Ash Phillips, young defender, on loan from Tottenham. Scored an own goal at Carrow Road last year while playing for Plymouth. Stevens on the left-hand side. Gives it to Seko in the midfield. Norwich sitting back here, protecting this one-goal lead. That's inviting Stoke on. And here's Bay on the left-hand side, bearing down the Norwich penalty area, taking on Fisher and Dobbin, and the ball's run free on the edge of the box. Sorensen snaps in, really important challenge from the day. Clears, and Stoke have to start again from halfway. A few concerns around the ground. I can just sense that Norwich have just gone back into their shells at the end of this half. Here's Stevens in space on the left-hand side. Slides it to Seko, plays it over the top here for Stevens to chase onto. Left edge of the Norwich penalty area. Fisher's gone with him all the way and plays the ball. Oh, he thinks off Stevens for a Norwich throw, but it's gone Stoke's way. Stevens takes it quickly, trying to catch Norwich napping. Baker on the left-hand side gives it to Seko. Now Baker, back to Ben Pearson, who's halfway inside the Norwich half. Every Norwich player back behind the ball. Phillips, the centre-back, is up in this attack for Stoke. Pearson behind him. Norwich just sitting back at the moment. See, they're desperate to keep this clean sheet intact until half-time. They lead 1-0. We're in the final minute of this first half. Stoke dominating the ball at the moment. Here's Chemadu on the right-hand side. Chased down well by Mahova. Pearson gives it back to Chemadu. Norwich, at least, by keeping players back, just forcing Stoke to retreat again. And
probably their longest spell of possession, Stoke having the ball. They seem to have...
But Norwich have pressed it well, and without touching it, Norwich have forced Stoke to go all the way back to their goalkeeper, which, from a fan's point of view, you're on the edge of your seat when you're watching your team sat back, but when it works that well, it's the right thing to do, isn't it? They're managing the position they're in, Norwich City, up to half-time, but they've got to keep doing it, because as we found out in recent home games, one is never enough, as well as Norwich have played. 3 minutes of time added on. Quite sure, I suppose there was the injury to Pearson, there's not been much else, has there?
No, I remember them all running off the pitch and having a drink.
Yeah, and maybe that's what the time's been added on for. Ipswich have got one back against Tottenham. 2-1, those Spurs still lead at Portman Road. Here's Chemadu on the right-hand side. Could be played in by Moran, but it's a heavy pass from the player who's on loan from Brighton, Republic of Ireland international, and Dunn will pick it up for Norwich City.
And in fairness, probably for about the fifth or sixth touch of the game for him. Feels like he hasn't had anything to do at all, really.
He's not had a save to make, is he?
No.
Let's put it that way. West Ham are leading 1-0 at Arsenal. And Wolves are 1-0 up at Bournemouth, who are down to 10 men as well. So, interesting scores affecting both ends of the Premier League table. Keep you up to date with all those scores. Phil will have a full roundup for you in a moment as Duffy is closed down. Was he caught there by Al-Hamadi? He's gone down. Referee waves play on, and Stoke have got a man over here on this attack. Played inside to Lewis Baker, and there's an equaliser for Stoke in first half stoppage time. Shane Duffy is still on the floor, crumpled after that challenge. But Stoke didn't stand on ceremony. They broke. The ball was played in from the right-hand side. It was 3 against 1 in the penalty area with Duffy out of the game. Baker takes the chance, and having dominated the first half, Norwich City find themselves at level peggings. Norwich 1, Stoke 1.
Have to have a look on the replay to see that. I mean, I heard it. I heard a tackle, a thud, if you like. Duffy stayed on the floor. But yeah, not really sure if it was a foul or just fell awkwardly or what, but obviously a little bit of worry around Duffy now.
Well, let's just see, Duffy's in possession of the ball, goes to play it, gets closed down, and he gets caught, doesn't he, by Al-Hamadi?
The ball had already gone.
It's one of those where when a defender clears the ball and then the leg goes on to catch the attacker, that's normally given as a free kick. We're getting a good view of it now. That's a foul, isn't it? That's usually given as a foul. I can see Al-Hamadi goes in and he doesn't do anything wrong. He just closes Duffy down. But
Duffy
usually
kicks his leg, doesn't he? With the follow through of his pass.
And usually when that happens, it's given as a foul.
Yeah.
And then it's played in from the right-hand side, and Baker goes through the middle and slides it past Gunn for 1-1. Duffy's still down. It's a really sore one. Perhaps he could have moved the ball a bit more quickly, if you want to be honest about it and criticise Shane Duffy a little bit and what he could have done better. Perhaps spent a little bit too much time on the ball. And Al-Hamadi's got every right to close him down, but what I would say is usually when that happens, when a defender then kicks through and catches the player, you see a free kick given. But the referee has decided it wasn't. He's let play go on, and Norwich were a defender down and Stoke have capitalised. That's 1-1.
Yeah, and the guy picking the ball up, scoring the goal in a position where, arguably Duffy would have been had he not been on the deck. But yeah, it's just showing the replay again. He's come across, he's not got the ball, the Stoke player. He's sort of come across Duffy as he's kicked it, and Duffy's follow through has kicked the Stoke player in the leg. And yeah, like you say, you've seen them given as fouls, but
you usually do, don't you?
Yeah,
that's usually a free kick. Again, I mean, could Duffy have moved the ball more quickly? Or would you say that actually he just wanted the ball at his feet for too long? I mean, but then he's just trying to see the game out to half-time, isn't he? So yeah,
and still no clean sheet at home.
Still, just the one this season.
Yeah, and we go in at half-time, drawing a game level in a game that we should be maybe 2 goals ahead.
Well, Lewis Baker scored from inside his own half last week. He actually scored on the first day of the season against Mark Robbins' Coventry to win the game for Stoke, but he's just scored what is a massive goal for Mark Robbins' Stoke here. Presented with the opportunity with Duffy down, and he's now rejoining proceedings, but I think Norwich here, they'll feel hard done by for a couple of reasons. One is that they played so well for the majority of that first half, and now Duffy's come back on, and the referee's sending him back away again, saying he hadn't given him permission to come back on the field. This is a really difficult few minutes for Shane Duffy.
And obviously, going back to what happened the other side of the pitch with the Stoke defender, he was able to run on the pitch from a similar position. no issue.
And now Duffy is allowed back on after Stoke have hit a high ball up the field. And now he's available on the right-hand side for Fisher to give the ball to. Here is Shane Duffy. He's going to play the ball forward here, Duffy, and why not? Dobbin chases it onto the right wing and gets there, level with the Stoke penalty area and wins a throw-in. May bring to an end the first half because 3 minutes of stoppage time was signalled. We're now back to have played 5. Norwich created so much in this first half, so many opportunities, but they've only taken one of them. And one never feels like it's enough, and it is 1-1 at Carrow Road. With that equaliser from Stoke right at the end of the first half. Fisher's throw-in to Slimani on the right-hand side. Tries a bit of skill, take it past the Stoke defender. He's managed to smuggle it into the penalty area, but Stoke have cleared. Big up and under from them. Referee looks at his watch once more. Mahovo cuts the ball out, tries to come forward, but it's going to be knocked in behind the Norwich defence here for El Hamady to chase, but Cordoba is quick. And El Hamady's left one on him this time. And that's not given as a foul either, but it is half-time, and what a curious first half that was. Yeah, I noticed Norwich were one sub short when they were warming up in front of us at half-time, and the obvious thing was to suggest that Duffy probably wouldn't come out because he took a knock in the first half. But he did lead the team back out with the captain's armband on, and it's Sienats who's replaced Dobbin. Now that can only be an injury, can't it? Because there's no way you take Lewis Dobbin off after that first half performance.
No, and it has to be, and hopefully, it's precautionary change as opposed to anything more serious than that. But yeah, Norwich obviously going to miss him second half, but obviously need to get on with the job in hand without him. And chance for Sienats to come on and do something to help us towards a win in this game.
Well, he's going to go and play on the right-hand side where Dobbin was playing. Got his first goal for Norwich against Stoke earlier this season in the draw away from home. Give you the team lineups in a moment, but it's Stoke in their red and white striped shirts taking the Barclay end in this second half, who've started in possession with Shemadou on the right-hand side. Norwich players back behind the ball. That was the pattern at the end of the first half, and for much of the first half it was all Norwich. They were playing some good football, but they're now under pressure at the back here with Bai Junho. He's got support outside of from Stevens, who gets the cross in. There's Duffy to head it away. And now it goes for a throw-in. So Norwich now with gun in goal. Fisher, Duffy, Cordoba and Mahovo at the back. Nunez, Sorensen and Slimani in midfield. Sienats on the right, Sykes on the left, Sargent up front. Dobbin, who got the goal, has come off at half-time. Stoke still got the same 11 that started the game. Here's Pearson, who took a knock in the first half, puts it out for a throw-in. So Johansson in goal for Stoke. Shemadou, Phillips, Rose and Stevens at the back. Seko, Pearson and Baker in midfield. Moran and Bai in the wide positions. And El Hamady is the striker who hasn't really had a chance, the man on loan from Ipswich, but he did get himself involved in a pivotal moment at the end of the first half when he challenged Shane Duffy as Duffy went to clear the ball. Perhaps spent too long in possession, gave El Hamady the chance to nick it off him. And when Duffy cleared the kick through against El Hamady, no free kick was given. Duffy went down injured, and while he was laying on the floor, Stoke were allowed to go through and equalise 1-1, and that undid a lot of good work in the first half for Norwich City. Got to go again now with Sykes slaloming through players on the halfway line. Eventually he gets tackled and the ball sits up for Nunez, and it's Ben Slimani now takes the ball on and finds Lucien Mahovo well forward on the left-hand side. Here's Slimani. Aims the ball into the penalty area from deep. Nunez has ended up heading the ball down into the box. Sienats now makes a run towards it to the right of goal, gets tackled, and it's hoofed clear by the defender Stevens. And Norwich have to retreat back into their own half. Again, El Hamady making life difficult for Duffy, but Duffy's won the header. And here's Cordoba up towards the halfway line. 1-1. For those joining us, I'll run through what happened in the first half when we get a chance. But Norwich were in front through Dobbin after a really good start to the game. They missed a couple of gilt-edged opportunities, then Dobbin scored. And after that, the general consensus seems to be at half-time that Norwich were guilty of just retreating and allowing Stoke back into the game, and they did get that equaliser. But Norwich now trying to get on the front foot with Lucien Mahovo on the left-hand side, defending the Barclay end in this second half, Norwich City. Here's Sainz, 25 yards out, finds Sienats, who spins in the penalty area and then goes down. Sargent with his back to goal, but he turns and shoots and scores! Norwich back in front, 2 minutes into the second half. They bulldozed their way into the penalty area. Determination from Sienats, skills in the end from Sargent. It's his 6th goal in as many games, and it's Norwich City 2, Stoke City 1.
Yeah, I think just what Norwich needed to get themselves back in front early in the second half and really pushing on to win this game. But initially thought the opportunity had gone, then I thought it should have been a penalty. I thought there was an handball in there somewhere, but unfortunately he fell to Sainz and he buried it from there, and he did.
Well, Sainz picked it up 25 yards out. Not quite sure how Norwich managed to force that through, because they went right through the middle of the Stoke defence. There were 3 defenders onto it. Sienats Looks as if he's going to take the shot on. It bounced up for Sargent, and he's back to goal, but he was able to swivel delightfully and put the ball into the net. It's a lovely finish from Sargent, and because he's got a defender right in front of him, it goes through the goal, through the defender, and the goalkeeper sees it really late and can't do anything about it. Such a good finish, actually.
Yeah, he's done brilliantly there to sort of get himself turned, and I don't know whether it goes through the defender's legs, which makes it awkward for the goalie. Yeah, it does, and the keeper couldn't get down. And
well, for the third season in a row, Josh Sargent's into double figures of goals for Norwich City, and they have got themselves back in front. Sargent takes the opportunity, and it's Norwich City 2, Stoke City 1. Sorensen plays it up here too far in front of Sargent, and seeing that's on at half-time. I'm not sure the manager would have done that by choice, but Dobbin not able to play any part in the second half. And again, I can't really tell you what Seanats did there, but his determination, his presence seemed to cause panic.
It is exactly that, wasn't it? It was just, just being there, being a nuisance. And I was going to say exactly the same thing. On he comes and is involved with a Norwich goal, and lifted the crowd up. Hopefully, lifts the players up to want to go on and create and hopefully get more goals and just bury this game.
Yeah, that was the criticism in the first half, which we'll talk about in a moment, Adrian Coote, that Norwich got in front of the first half and then sort of sat back and allowed Stoke back into it. They can't do that now. They're 2-1 up. It's Moran, no for Stoke to the edge of the penalty area, and Bay trying a reverse pass into the box. It's closed down. Sargent back defending. Oh, he's been penalised there. He seemed to get to the ball ahead of Seko.
I think he's hit the ref. I think he's given it for hitting the ref.
Is that what it is? A drop ball? Yeah. I thought it was decent play from Sargent. He's back scrapping deep inside his own half. And it is going to be a drop ball because it hit the referee, but you don't have contested drop balls now. They have to just drop it down to the team that was in possession. So it's going to be Stoke, and they're going to have the ball dropped in their favour, centre of the pitch, 25 yards out.
Yeah, it's interesting he's getting it back to Stoke, because I thought it went to Sargent, and it was Sargent's first touch that sort of kicked it into the referee. So technically Sargent would have had the last touch, but
no. They've taken the drop ball, and it's moved back to Seko, who's going to shoot from distance here. It bounces awkwardly for Garn, who smothers it and then picks it up at the second attempt. So important the Norwich got themselves back in front early. What about the way they approached the first half? Listening to people at half-time, the general consensus was, yeah, good by and large for Norwich in the first half. But when they're in front, they just sat back too much.
Yeah, and you just don't want to see that here. Second half now, they've got themselves back in front quite early, which is all you could have asked for them to do. But it's just about taking the game to Stoke. I mean, you talked about them being on the front foot. You don't want them to go back.
Now. Fisher's found Seanats, who cuts in well from the right-hand side and hits a spinning ball to Sainz, central position, 25 yards out. Ball on Sainz, low shot straight at the goalkeeper. Didn't really get hold of it. But that's what the Norwich fans want to see. They come to Carrow Road to see their team attack, don't they, ideally?
Because he stuck them in the top corner from there. I've seen it with my own eyes. Didn't catch hold of that one properly, but that's what you want. You want the ball in Stoke's half, Norwich City in possession, creating chances, and make it difficult for Stoke to build any kind of momentum or way back into this game.
If you want a bit of a subplot for you, when Sargent got back fit again, he was on 4 goals and Sainz was on 16. So that was the gap they had. There's now only 6 between them, because he's on to 10 for the season now, Josh Sargent. He might get another chance here. Nunez clips the ball over the top after Stoke had given the ball away, but it's got too much on it. It bounces through to the goalkeeper.
Right area to play the ball. I just wondered if his better option would have been to have kept it low on the deck, and he had both Sainz and Sargent looking to get on the end of it.
They've just put the floodlights on, haven't they? There's a sudden burst of light over on the far side of the pitch, and that big line of lights in the City stand has come on. 2-1 Norwich lead against Stoke City. Stoke hit back right at the end of the first half, but conceded right at the start of the second half. Lovely bit of strike play from Josh Sargent to put Norwich back in front. Since he returned to the starting lineup, this is the 6th game he's played, and he's scored 6 goals in that time. He's so important to Norwich City. He's got 4 of their last 5 goals as well as Josh Sargent. Amazing. Oh, sorry, that's right. Yeah, he's got 4 of their last 5 goals in that time as well, Norwich City. I miss him when he doesn't play. Loose pass from Sorensen. Stevens collects for Stoke and puts it up into the channel here for Bae Jun-ho to race onto. He's unmarked. He's got into the Norwich penalty area. Nunez trying to get back in and make the challenge. Bae Jun-ho gets it across, cut out well by Cordoba. It's going to fall to Pearson, 20 yards out. Dipping shots, not dipping enough over the top. I mean, this is the problem, isn't it, from a Norwich point of view, because you want them to be hungry for more goals and you want them to go forward, but when you do overcommit, the game becomes too open. What do you do? How do you handle it?
It's really tricky, because obviously Stoke are going to commit players forward now. They're going to need to find any way back into this game, but you want Norwich to be clean in possession, and get the ball into to Stoke's half, dangerous positions, and keep creating chances. But yeah, vulnerable to conceding an equaliser like we saw in the first half and like we've seen with Norwich before. So it's never dull watching Norwich. You always find yourself on your toes.
Maybe they need another one. Maybe that's the problem, as Sargent goes down rather too easily under the challenge of Pearson. It's played inside to Pearson, who shifts it on quickly to Moran. Now Chemadu coming forward from right back for Stoke. Crosses early into the penalty area. Duffy cuts it out. Falls for Chemadu again. Right corner of the box for Stoke. Sykes back defending, gets a foot in. Mahobo is there, the Norwich left back. Finds Slimani. The Norwich have played their way out of the difficult area pretty well here. But now they play themselves straight back into possession in the left back area with Mahobo. He's been closed down by the determined Chemadu. And Mahobo blasted against him, and then at the second attempt clears upfield and gets good distance on it. Sargent grappling here with Phillips. He's got goal side of him, but Phillips comes back for more and ends up with the ball. And Sargent, he comes back for more himself and really puts himself about, and it ends up with Stoke getting possession on halfway. Now it's played up towards the striker Al-Hamidi, but Gunn comes out to collect. Great battle that between Ash Phillips and Josh Sargent.
I mean, he had no right to even contest that ball. Used his body and his strength really, really well, and he just didn't give up on it. And you know, that's all you ask, is that you just make it as difficult as you can for the defender, which he did, and Norwich end up winning the ball back as a result of it. So you know, rightly appreciated by the crowd as well.
Cordoba finds Slimani. Slimani stops and then helps it out towards the right wing, where Kellen Fisher's got some room. Forward he comes, crosses into the penalty area. It goes all the way through to Mahobo.
Yeah!
Put it across the face of goal. Did it get a deflection? It did. It's a corner. Lucien Mahobo seemed to catch that one sweetly. It seemed destined for the bottom corner. It got a flick on the way through, and it's behind for a corner. Mahobo very nearly off the mark for Norwich City.
Yeah, caught it as cleanly as he'd have wished for, and you know, the angle we've got here, we sat right behind it, and right up until the last minute, I'm sure that's in. Yeah, the keeper saved it. And he needed to, because that was on target, and it was a lovely strike, clean strike.
Terrific save. I wasn't sure whether it was a defender that it hit, but no, Victor Johansson has made a brilliant save there to keep it at 2-1 to Norwich. But the Canaries have a corner. Can they get themselves further in front? Nunez raises his right arm, plays the corner in from the right-hand side, onto the head of Duffy, who helps it on. Sargent in the 6-yard box heads it down. Cordoba's in there, but couldn't get there. And it's been cleared away by Stoke, who had everybody back behind the ball, so when they clear it, Fisher's got a chance to play it forward. Now it is cleared by Stoke, and Al-Hamidi's gone forward, and Fisher has to beat into it in the air and does. Nunez, bouncing ball, difficult, tries to take it down, but Beijing-Ho's got the better of him. And here comes Stoke now. Nunez just stops Beijing-Ho from carrying the ball any further forward, but he's got the pass away to Seko. Now it comes to Moran. Right-hand side, crosses early, gets too much on it. I think that's going to go behind for a goal kick, and it does. And Norwich still lead 2-1. Elsewhere, Portsmouth are leading in their game. Their recent revival continues. 2-0 against QPR. Josh Murphy, one of the scorers. And Norwich here 2-1 up against Stoke City. And an enthralling second half in prospect.
Yeah, and you know, 5 or 10 minutes we've had since the goal, you know, it looks like Norwich are still trying to take the game to Stoke, which is what we didn't see in the first half. You know, and again, great save by the goalkeeper, but had that gone in, you know, I feel like we'd be talking about a Norwich win. And like we saw with the Swansea game, you know, Norwich got themselves into a position where they just went on and scored and scored and scored. And
Duffy very nearly had given it away. He has given it away to Al-Hamidi. Tries to recover, but the ball's going to run free here for Baker, who goes round the goalkeeper, flags up, he's offside. He puts the ball into the net, but he's flagged offside. But what a let-off that is for Norwich City. Shane Duffy tamely giving the ball away to Al-Hamidi, who's one of these strikers who, I think he's had a shot in this game, but he is not giving the Norwich defence a minute's peace. He's so hard working, and they're so lucky there, Norwich, that the flag went up against Baker. Nunez, I think Norwich have decided that getting forward might be the best mood of a defence. Oh, it's nearly an own goal. Fisher turns the ball into the near post, and it's put behind with Sykes waiting to swoop. End-to-end stuff. Norwich now have a corner, having very nearly conceded at the other end.
Just give me a third goal so we can all go home, please, please.
Well, I mean, he's now down injured. I mean, I haven't seen there's a lot going on here. I haven't had a chance to see whether that was offside again, but Al-Hamidi's down. Duffy just, I think he probably was fouled for the goal that was given for Stoke. It wasn't awarded, but if there is a criticism, he just spent too long on the ball, and he did it again there.
Yeah, and that's what you can't do, because again, you know, if that hadn't been offside and, you know, they scored that 2-2, we just find ourselves keep talking about the same things, don't we? And it's, yeah, but, you know, Norwich broke well straight after that. Callum Fish down the right hand side put a beautiful ball in, and Sainz was ready to tap it in, but defender did well to get across the front of him, put it out for corner, which we haven't had yet because we're looking at the injured Stoke player getting treatment.
But getting treatment, but it's really entertaining stuff. Stoke are getting a substitute ready. Just watching it again, it is offside, isn't it? As Al-Hamadi plays the ball forward, Baker is offside. He's way beyond the Norwich back line.
Yeah,
the flag goes straight up and he scores. But that's twice though. Norwich have been caught in possession, and with Duffy then out of position, Baker's been able to sprint through and put the ball in the net. This one ruled out.
Yeah.
So Al-Hamadi's down. There is a substitute getting ready for Stoke. They won't want to lose Al-Hamadi, on loan from Ipswich. The Iraqi international striker only started one league game in a year with Ipswich. But he's just his presence sometimes. He makes it so difficult, doesn't he?
He's been a real nuisance. Yeah, he has. He's made life really uncomfortable for the.
If this is him coming off, I think Stoke will be disappointed. They've got 2, possibly 3 substitutes ready. Ben Pearson's coming off, and Millian Mainhoff is coming on. Scored against Norwich earlier this season. Brilliant equaliser at Stoke earlier on in the season. And it's looking to see. This is an attacking move, really. Pearson is a combative defensive midfielder. He's just back from a long-term injury. Millian Mainhoff is a Dutch winger who's got 5 goals this season. And yes, confirmation that Al-Hamadi is not going to play any further part in this game. He is being replaced by a player who's on loan from Liverpool, Lewis Koumas, who's the son of Jason Koumas, who once scored a goal against Norwich City, only 19, already a Welsh international, and he's got 6 goals this season. So Mark Robins has sent on 11 goals this season between those 2 players as they try to get back into the game. Norwich won a corner though quite some time ago, and now they've got a chance to take it. Can they increase their lead? They're 2-1 up at the moment. Nunez gets ready to deliver from the right hand side, whips it in now. Cordoba got there but couldn't turn it goalwards. Now he can, and it's a bit of a shinner, and it loops up in the air and goes behind. Now in Jose Cordoba's career, he's only ever scored 1 goal, but he is also one of only 9 players to have scored against Burnley this season.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see why he's only got 1 goal with that effort there. He sort of scooped up, and yeah.
The goal he got was a header. He scored here against Burnley on the 15th of December, and Burnley have only let him 1 league goal since. So that's how remarkable their defensive record has been this season. Now Stoke are trying to play out from the back. And Norwich are pressing and trying to make that difficult for them. Ball's right on the touchline on the left-hand side for Stoke. They're keeping it going. Norwich are hunting as a pack, and it's ended up with Baker, who I think is just going to drop deep now to where Pearson was playing, and that's going to allow Millian Mainhoff to go forward with Koumas, who's come on as a substitute. Stoke with Chemadou, though, the right back on the right-hand side. Plays it up early here, and it's gone through towards Koumas in the penalty area. Duffy defends it well. The flag's up for offside against Koumas anyway. 2-1. There's movement over on the Norwich bench now as well. Somebody's getting spoken to by the Norwich set-piece coach, but that's way off in the distance, so I'll rely on your eyesight over mine there, Beauty.
I can't see.
We'll see.
I can't even see a player get ready. I can see
well,
a
I
player
can see him
getting
being, yeah, there's someone being spoken to who's got their shirt in their hand, so we'll see in a moment who that is. But Norwich have made 1 change already in this game. Elite 2-1. It's entertaining stuff at the moment at Carrow Road. Cordoba gets it back to Gunn. Maybe a little too entertaining at that end of the pitch. As Gunn swoops the ball upfield, Sargent climbs, doesn't win the header. Nunez chests it down well, goes through the midfield, brilliant from Nunez, but he's just off balance as he tries to release the pass to Sainz. And Chemadou cuts it out and gets it back to his goalkeeper, Victor Johansson, who made a brilliant save a moment ago to keep it at 2-1. Now Sienats putting himself about, trying to make it difficult for Stoke to get the ball away. They do get it away. Fisher comes in with a challenge, a crashing one on halfway. It's penalised. Free kick, and then Stoke have taken it quickly with Fisher out of position, but the referee's not happy with it because actually Stoke man, having felt the full force of Callum Fisher, that's Bae Jun Ho, has stayed down.
Yeah, I think it's a foul. I think you know, he's made his mind up, Callum Fisher, that he's going to try and read the pass and makes the run towards the ball early, but just doesn't get there in time, and I just think he leaves one on the back of the car for the Stoke player.
We're into that interesting spell of the game now, Adrian Coop, where we played an hour. Yeah, we played 63 minutes. So as the ball's played forward by Stoke here, and a run through for Gunn. Johannesov Torres now. It's how much does he think he can get out of Nunez on his return? Does he have to take Sargent out of the firing lineup? There's going to be some interesting decisions over the next few minutes. Yeah. Norwich are still in a game here. They're 2-1 up. They've got a lot of hard work still to do. And Sorensen up towards halfway. Sienats has made himself available, takes it in a central position, sweeps it out towards the right wing. It's a really good pass into the path of Fisher, who's coming forward from right back for Norwich City. What they'd give for a third goal now. Oh, hang on, Sargent's gone down in the penalty area off the ball here. That's a problem for Norwich City. He's thumping the turf in pain and frustration. Norwich are playing on with their main striker down. Sainz on the right-hand side. Not quite sure what happened in there, but he's pulled up. Norwich are continuing to attack. And now Sainz has gone down as well, and Nunez puts it out. This is a worry. This is a worry, isn't it? Whenever you see Sargent go down, and it seemed innocuous. He's got his face buried in his shirt, and this is a real worry. He's got his fist there, thumping into the turf. Now, it's early days, but the signs here are not good for Josh Sargent.
No, just looking at him there, this isn't something that he's going to run off or
It's his knee, isn't
get
it?
up from.
His knee that's
whether
gone?
He's knocked into
his left knee. Now, what we'll have to hope, I'd like to see it again, but if that's an impact injury, if he's run into a defender, then there's an opportunity. But if it's not, and I didn't see him run into anybody, if it's a twist or a turn, that could be well. Again, let's not overstate it. We don't know, but it's a concern, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Yeah, and we were talking about the dilemma for the manager in terms of changes.
Well,
and stuff.
there is a collision. There is a collision with Ash Phillips, who actually Phillips, there's halfway and asked for a penalty there because the ball's nowhere near coming into the penalty area, and Sargent goes to try and rush past Phillips, who just leaves a leg hanging and Sargent goes over it. And I feel better having seen it because there was contact. It looks like a sort of dead leg when you get it in the side of the leg, doesn't it? So actually, now that doesn't seem quite as bad now that I've seen it. No. But that could be a penalty, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think, in a game with VAR present, they'll look at that all day long and they can't not give a penalty for that because the defender knows what he's doing. But yeah, a dead leg, he'll feel that in the morning. But just going back to the substitutions and the changes the manager would like to make in terms of bringing Nunez off and Sargent and stuff, not conceding that silly goal or taking some of the chances we've had and being in a position where we're at least 2 goals ahead makes it easier for the manager. But with the game as it stands at the moment, it's just a bit cagey, isn't it? Because you just, you know what you get from Norwich going forward, and we have looked like we'll create chances today. But again, while Stoke haven't looked like they can create much, we always look like we can give something away. 2-1
to Norwich. Sargent's going to be okay. That's the good news. But how important he is to Norwich, you could feel the concern sort of hush, couldn't you, as he went down and he was thumping he looked in so much pain that there was concerns. But I think he's going to be okay. And Norwich haven't got him on the pitch at the moment, though, so they haven't really got a focal point to aim for. Although Sienats has gone up there now. Norwich are trying to play out from the back. Corder puts it up towards halfway, and off the ball this time. Ash Phillips is up to his tricks again. He's dragged Sainz down. Thanks to Fricker. He's lucky, you're right. I mean, I don't think many fans who are in the ground supporting Norwich today would welcome VAR in the Championship. Random, of course, for Sargent as he comes back on, but it's completely off the ball. The ball's not even come into the penalty area, and Ash Phillips does just stick a leg out. Knows what he's doing there, doesn't he?
And that doesn't, you would say you'd go to VAR and it would check that. I think if VAR is in place in a game, you wouldn't necessarily see that. It's a deterrent in some ways. People got to be careful at every part of the pitch.
Chasing the ball forward here. Chembadu gets it back to goalkeeper Johansson, who clears. We're halfway through the second half on BBC Radio Norfolk. It's Norwich City 2, Stoke City 1. An intriguing game. Norwich had more control in the first half. Probably the most in control Norwich have been is when this game was 0-0. But they have done well to get themselves back in front through Josh Sargent at the start of this second half. Here's Duffy. Aims the ball up towards halfway. Sargent shows for it. Gets there ahead of Phillips. Does well to get it down towards Sienats. He's tackled. But the ball breaks to Cordoba. Mahogo screaming for it just down in front of us on this near side of Norwich left. He's got space to run into. Mahogo gives it to Sainz. Sainz has got various splatters of mud all over him. Gives it to Mahogo. Low cross in. Oh, it's behind everybody who'd made a run into the box. Sorensen gets it forward. Sainz deep inside the Stoke half. 20 yards out. Plenty of red and white shirts back. He's done well to slide it out to the right-hand side from Fisher. Norwich have a sub ready to come on. Here's Marcelino Nunez. Nunez to Sainz. Lovely flick from Sainz to Sargent. Sainz now plays it out towards the right wing. Fisher arriving. Low cross cut out and cleared away. Wow. Stoke player tackled by Nunez. I think that's Jacob Wright who's going to come on. So is that going to be it for Nunez? He's played 3/4 of the game. I thought it might be, Nunez back in the team. He's got an assist, a terrific ball through in the first half from which Dobbins scored. But now it's time to wrap it in cotton wool. And for the last quarter of this game, he's going off and Jacob Wright is coming on.
Yeah, and we spoke before the game kicked off, didn't we, about obviously we can't predict the future and stuff like that. We're in a winnable position now. It makes sense to take him off, because what do you want to do at the cost of keeping him on for an extra 20 minutes and potentially setting back 2 or 3 games if he was to pick up something else? It's really difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, because ideally you'd want him. I'll come back to that in a moment. Norwich have 1 possession back inside the Stoke half. Slimani out towards the right hand side, and Jacob Wright has just come on loan from Manchester City, of course. Sorensen aims the ball towards this left hand side, bounces up awkwardly for Mahovo. He controls, plays it back to Cordoba. Norwich lead 2-1. Cordoba now gives it to Mahovo. Mahovo back again to Cordoba. 2-1 to Norwich City against Stoke. Here's Sorensen deep inside his own half, gives it to Cordoba. Now Wright gives it back to Cordoba, and back it goes to Gunn. Angus Gunn will take his time, we'll weigh it up, and then we'll launch it upfield. Sargent trying to get underneath it. Rose has beaten him in the air, and back it goes from Stevens to the goalkeeper Johansson. I was going to say, yeah, you're right. Ideally, you'd want your best 11, your best players out there all the time. But we've just seen the sharp intake of breath when Sargent went down. Quite how much the bigger picture is that Norwich don't want to lose any of these players for a longer period. But he's done his job today, Nunez. He's got an assist. They've just lost that bit of passing expertise from the midfield now, haven't they?
Yeah,
him off.
It just has that same sort of flat feel now that it had when they 1-0 up in the first half after they scored. We'd had a promising spell after we got the second goal, but again, we just need to build a little bit more of an attack up and go back to creating chances. And it may well finish 2-1, which is great. We win the game, but
20 minutes to go. It is 2-1 at the moment. Here's Jacob Wright. Could he show his range of passing here? He's got possession. He's found Sainz. Oh, brilliant turn from Sainz. He's released Sargent just about while off balance. Sargent up towards the edge of the penalty area goes Josh Sargent. At central position, still going. Oh, makes room for the shot! That is stunning! What a goal from Josh Sargent! It's his second of the game. That is absolutely brilliant. Edge of the penalty area. What the opportunity! And as the American flag, stars and stripes have been unfurled over on the far side of the City stand. That is a goal worthy of winning any game of football. 20 minutes to go. Norwich City 3, Stoke City 1. Superb from Sargent.
Yeah, you can tell a player's got a good goal when you look at the players sitting next to him. He's got his mouth open while with both hands over it, saying, I don't know what we've just done there. But took the ball on his right foot, cut inside, Cruyff back onto his left foot, and then just that curling shot away from the goalkeeper, top corner. Great goal.
Not bad for a man with a dead leg.
No. Yeah, you try and take out my right leg, I'll just put one in with my left leg.
Well, there were gasps at Carrow Road about 5-10 minutes ago when he went down and he was thumping the turf, and it looked for all the world as if Josh Sargent might be about to see the injury curse strike again, but he's picked himself up, he's dusted himself down, and he's just put Norwich in a position of strength against Stoke. I'm just thinking back to Josh Sargent's prolific number of goals for Norwich City, 44 he's got. I think that might be the best of the lot.
Yeah,
that is a brilliant goal.
Terrific goal, and the manager's going to want to bring him off now and rest him up, because we're 2 goals ahead. Josh Sargent's going to want to stay on and get his hat-trick.
I know there was the scorpion kick against Watford, which was the other one in my mind, but in terms of just skill, and the brilliance and the intention,
he doesn't get a lot of opportunities to get in those sort of positions. He's normally on the end of something in and around the box, but this was something, bit of skill, cut back onto his left foot, and the finish was absolutely sublime.
And that's why you do leave him on in games, because he can do that. 18 minutes to go. Norwich now lead by 3 goals to 1. Absolutely stunning from Josh Sargent, who is now just 5 goals behind Paul Sainz in the race to be Norwich top scorer. How quickly that gap is reduced. And since he returned to the starting lineup, Josh Sargent, 7 goals in 6 games.
Incredible. And I think there's more in him, and he's only getting more and more into it. I don't know how many games he's had. Did you say 6 games since he's been back
in the starting lineup? Yeah, there's a couple of sub appearances before that, but
so if not already, he's certainly getting close to fully fit.
Sargent has got 40 goals now in 87 championship appearances in his career. And when you consider that a lot of those appearances have been ended early because of injury issues, and for a good portion of that first season in the championship, he wasn't playing up front because Timo Pukki was still here.
How many has he got?
I'll look again, hang on, let's just watch the ball here as Phillips comes forward and keeps it in play on the right-hand side. Sargent's got 40 in 86 games, that's just in the championship.
I got 3 in 85.
He's right, there's 3 more than I got. Right, plays the ball forward. Oh, Sargent was on the last man there, on the shoulder of Phillips, who had to lift the foot up high to cut it out, and he managed to. I don't think he's got a hat-trick yet for Norwich, though, has he, Josh Sargent?
It'd be nice to get one here as well, wouldn't it? First hat-trick at Carroll Road.
But they're 3-1 up now, Norwich City. And the goal-scoring touch has returned. Meinhof plays the ball in behind the Norwich defence. Kumas is onto it, flag is up for offside. The other thing I will just, not that I'm looking to burst the balloon or anything, but Norwich's last 7 goals, Sargent's got 6 of them. Again, that's since he's returned to the team. He has been the go-to man. You saw Lewis Dobbins score earlier. That's the only one that hasn't been scored by Sargent in that run. Yeah. Norwich 3-1 up.
One side's back to scoring goals, then he's been getting himself in positions, but for whatever reason he's just not been taking the shot on, been looking for the pass, which is fine. But I just know Sainz from earlier on in the season will be pinging them from all angles outside of the box, and most of them going in.
Slimani's just lost possession and then he's committed a foul. I think he might be booked when the ball goes out of play, but the referee played advantage because the team in red and white had it. Mark Robbins on the side of the pitch, not happy at all. The Stoke City manager, he just can't seem to get the better of his former club, Norwich City. Played for the Canaries for 3 years, 20 goals in 68 games. Here's Phillips, the Stoke defender, 19-year-old, on loan from Tottenham, finds Chamadou on the right-hand side. 15 minutes to go, Norwich City lead 3-1. Here goes Chamadou, though, on the outside. Cordoba gets in between him and the ball and tries to see it behind, and he hasn't managed. Eventually the ball does squirt behind, and a corner is given. That wasn't the best piece of defending from Jose Cordoba. It was Stoke's first corner of the game. He felt that had enough on it to go behind. And
and he didn't. No, a little bit like Kellen Fisher did in the first half, is it? No, Sorensen gambled and managed to put the ball up, but managed to sort of stay composed enough to put it out for a corner.
Here comes another change for Stoke. They're taking off Ender Stevens, the experienced former Sheffield United man. Jordan Thompson is coming on, a Northern Ireland international who joined Stoke when the former Northern Ireland manager Michael O'Neill was in charge. Another one of those managers who's had a go at getting Stoke back to the big time and hasn't managed. Bajan Ho is also coming off. Sam Gallagher's coming on, a return to fitness for Gallagher. Signed in the summer from Blackburn. He's had such injury problems, he's only been able to make 9 appearances. I've certainly seen him score against Norwich City before. In fact, he started off as a youngster with Southampton. He only got 1 Premier League goal, and that was against Norwich. On he goes into the penalty area. 3-1 Norwich lead. Can they see out this set piece? William Meinhof is going to take it with his left foot from the right-hand side, curling towards the far post. It's headed down and behind. And it'll be a goal kick. So how did Norwich approach this now, Adrian Coots? In the first half they were questioned for perhaps retreating into their shells when they were 1-0 up. They've now got a 2-goal cushion. How would you approach it?
Sorry, just looking at the replay.
Yeah, the replay is of the much earlier, the offside goal that Lewis Baker scored. I think there's a sense, having just seen it again, that actually the ball back to Baker came off a Norwich defender rather than a Stoke player, which means it shouldn't have been given offside, but it's so difficult to tell even from the replay slowed down that you can understand why the assistant referee didn't spot that.
Yeah, going back to what you're saying, Chris, just I think, tidy in possession, keep the ball. We've got a 2-goal cushion. Maybe don't need to overcommit is what we...
Sinac does well to find Sainz. He stretches the game to find Fisher, who seems to be taken down there, but the referee's allowed play to go on. Sainz and Fisher are going at it again here. They've both gone down. Fisher picks the ball up, drives towards the edge of the penalty area. Kellen Fisher to Mahobo. His cross deflection! It's in! It's an own goal! And it is 4-1 to Norwich City. They've got comfort now. All the credit is going to Lucien Mahobo, the youngster who fed the cross into the penalty area. It took a looping deflection off the Stoke defender. That took the goalkeeper out of the game. And Norwich City have got 4 at home again. 12 minutes to go. It's Norwich City 4, Stoke City 1.
Yeah, so in response to your earlier question about what do Norwich do now, go and get a 4th. It's going to go down as no goal, but again, Kellen Fisher nice and positive, worked it well. Took a shot on first time, struck it well again, but deflected off defender over keeper's head. Similar, ended up in a similar part of the goal to Josh Argent's earlier strike. But yeah, I think we can enjoy a victory now, keeping hold of the ball and just seeing the game out. Nothing silly.
Well, I've just seen the Norwich players when the goal went in. They all raced over to Mahobo to congratulate him. Unfortunately, that can't go down as his goal because it was an attempted cross. It was Chemadu, the fullback, who went to block it, and it was one of those where it hits the player, bounces into the ground, and loops up over the goalkeeper. It completely takes him out of it. And Victor Johansson, who played here for Rotherham last season and led in 5, has now led in 4 against the Canaries with still 11 minutes to go. But maybe we're seeing an advert here for why you shouldn't sit back when you've got a lead. Maybe you should just keep going. Although here comes Stoke, and Moran puts it into the penalty area, and it's chopped behind by Cordoba, and that's a corner to Stoke. And again, Norwich got 5 here against Swansea in a recent home game, and what really shone in that game was how the last few goals in that game, how they pushed on, how determined they were, and how they were forcing mistakes. And that goal was like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. And you know, you could have, I mean, more than happy with 5-1 win at Swansea, but quite easily been more. And the same could be said for this game. You look at the chances we had first half.
Stoke corner, Mainhoff in towards the far post from the right-hand side. Norwich had it behind. Stoke have another corner. And they're going to keep giving this a go, Stoke. Mark Robins has his arms folded. He's a terrific manager, Mark Robins. He's got a great record, but he just cannot beat Norwich City. He has managed 10 games against Norwich City, 11 including today, and he's lost, well, it'll be 9 of them if they go on to lose this one, which they should from here. 10 minutes to go. Norwich are 4-1 up against Stoke City. Corner from the left-hand side for Stoke. They're looking to try and just make the last 10 minutes more interesting than Norwich would like. But there's the delivery, flat towards the near post, cleared away by Fisher. Forsyth's chased it out of the penalty area towards the halfway line. He hasn't got his goal yet. He would love to get back amongst the goals, because he's going to be 3 months without a goal if he doesn't score in this one. But he's played his part today, hasn't he?
He has. And I just think, you know, it's as it should be. You know, you look to Sargent for your goals. I think it's dangerous just to rely on Sargent for your goals, because that's, you know, it's a part of his game, but it's not all of it. And so whilst, you know, I'm more than happy with the goals that he has scored, you know, just as impressed with him when he's creating goals as well. But yeah, good to see Sargent obviously well and truly back now with his goals, and you know, it's been frustrating at times, but I just think on reflection, you know, Norwich have deserved to score goals today because they've created chances well. It's just a shame that we can't stop that one goal that we seem to oblige a team at home, and just make it a little bit more difficult for ourselves than we need to. But you know, a 4-0, 5-0 win at home sounds much better than a 4-1.
Baker playing the ball over the top. Kumas is flagged offside again here, and Helen Fisher's pretty relieved about that because he got goal side. Fisher was backpedaling a bit, but the reason he got goal side is because he had run into an offside position. So it's 4-1. And really, when you look at it half-time, the way the ground felt at half-time, Norwich had played well, but had just allowed Stoke back into it with that equaliser. And there were real fears, weren't there, at half-time, that the momentum had gone and that Norwich had allowed them back into it. But at that point, if I told you it was going to be 4-1 to Norwich with 8 minutes to go, you would absolutely have taken it, wouldn't you? And that's where we are.
But it just, you look at how the second half started. You know, we got a goal within minutes of the second half starting. It just puts back on that front foot, didn't it? And we were able to sort of capitalise from there. But you know, lessons going forward in the first half when you score a goal and go 1-0 up. You know, can you take a team? Can you continue to take it to a team rather than sit off?
We'll see Nats again battling to win the ball up the pitch. So's Jacob Wright. Free kick though has gone the way of Stoke. It's interesting when they took Nunez off, it's only 2-1, and there was a little bit of nerves about taking Nunez off in that position. Norwich have scored a couple since, with Sargent's brilliant effort from 20 yards, and then that own goal from Junior Chemadu trying to block the cross from Lucien Mahovo, who's come close now a couple of times to scoring his first for the club today. He put a great save out of Victor Johansson, and it was his cross that Chemadu deflected over his own goalkeeper.
And even if he doesn't, you know, score today, just happy with the positions that he's got himself into, in terms of being that sort of threat at the back post when the ball's breaking down the right, and wanting to be involved and, you know, have shots and You know, we used to have that a lot, didn't we? We talk about Daniel Farke in his era, those attacking fullbacks that we used to have that would always kind of be involved. And yeah, he looks like he's going to be a really useful player.
There's a stat which I'll have to check after the game that the excellent Norwich City Numbers social media account pulled out earlier on in the season that Norwich had scored 4 goals in a game more often this season than at any time since the 60s. And they've done it again today, and they may get more because they've got Mahovo away on the left-hand side again. Great pass, Sargent for the hat-trick! Goalkeeper denies him. Goalkeeper spreads himself and makes a great save. That was so close to being Josh Sargent's hat-trick. But again, Mahovo central to it, coming forward on the left-hand side, sweeping the cross in. And Johansson denying Sargent a third.
What I loved about that was Mahovo got his head up, saw where Sargent was, played a great ball. It's just that area of uncertainty in front of the goalkeeper, behind the defenders, and
you might get another chance here because Stoke are making a meal of clearing the ball, but no, they've got it to Millian Meinhof, who came on really. Millian Meinhof with a chance, in fact, to get Stoke back into the game. He's played the ball in behind the Norwich defence here to Gallagher. Gallagher to the right of goal. He's onside, shooting opportunity. Gunn gets down well to deny it, turns it behind for a corner. And Meinhof came on the hour. It was 2-1. It felt like Mark Robins was sending him on to try and get Stoke back into the game. He started that attack and they're 4-1 down.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it, I was thinking about whether I do or I don't.
There'll be no hat-trick for Josh Sargent. He's coming on.
He should have done better there. You know, that was on a plate for him, 6-7 yards out. Yeah, the keeper's made himself look good, but either side of him, the keeper doesn't save that. And I'm disappointed he hasn't got his hat-trick because he deserved one.
And there'll be no goal for Sykes either. He's coming off. We're going to see a debut for Rory McConville. So Sykes is going to... He's trudging off with his Sykes. He's going to complete 3 months without a goal, but it's not just about the goals for him. He really has played his part today. He's been hard working. He's caused problems for Stoke all afternoon. So Norwich are making 3 substitutions here. They're taking off Sargent, Sykes and Mahovo, and they're bringing on Schwartau, Rory McConville for a debut, and Ben Crescene to play left back. Great position to come on and make the debut, Rory McConville, Northern Ireland international, 6'4". He's on to make his debut with your team 4-1 up and 5 minutes to go. Yeah,
there you go, and just run for 5 minutes. See what happens.
Now, taking Sargent off now, 4-1 up. He's so close to getting his hat-trick.
Yeah, and I just, I felt awful. He scored 2 goals, saying that he should have done better, but he should have done. Such was the quality of that ball in. He didn't have to do anything other than side foot it in. And yeah,
Stoke corner, 4 minutes to go. Come back to that in a moment. They've taken it short to Baker, back to Meinhof, who took the corner on the right-hand side. He's jinking his way into the penalty area. He's been tackled by Fisher. Norwich haven't got it away yet, though. Schwartau back helping out. So's Crescene, the 2 substitutes straight into it here. And in the end, it comes out of play off Schwartau. You don't very often see teams make a change when they're defending a set piece. Norwich just made 3.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying about Sargent. Perhaps will feel he he'll be disappointed because out of the goals he scored, that was probably the easiest chance that he had. And the keeper come rushing out and made it difficult for him. But either side of him, and he's not saving that. But there speaks the striker, Adrian Coote. The thought that you could always have had more.
Yes.
Even when you got to, and one of the goals was, I think, probably the best he's ever got for Norwich. Yeah. Maybe we'll get a chance. I hope we get a chance to speak to him afterwards. We can ask him whether he scored.
He'll be happy he scored 2 goals, but there'll be a part of him that's disappointed he hasn't got his hat-trick because he knows that was an opportunity for him to get that.
And there's some big moments in the game. Norwich leading by 4 goals to 1 with 3 minutes to go. Canary call, Adrian Coote taking your calls alongside Rob Butler. And Norwich have returned to winning ways and returned to goal-scoring ways as well. Here's Jacob Wright, back to Duffy. Norwich have now got 3 centre-backs on the pitch, and McConville, one of them, has just given the ball away. Deep inside his own half, Sorensen makes a challenge there to win it back, then Duffy nearly runs into trouble. Jacob Wright gets his foot on it, and Norwich are back in possession with McConville. Foot on the ball, that's better. Duffy now back to Sorensen. Norwich have got this cushion, a 3-goal cushion. Here's Angus Gunn. Not had many saves to make in this game, made a smart one from Gallagher a moment ago. Had a loan spell with Stoke 4 years ago, and now he clears the ball up the field. Schwartau jumps, beaten in the air by Phillips. Wright gets himself underneath it, and it's cleared by Thompson, the Stoke left back. Sorensen goes to win the ball. Oh, it's a slice there from Baker, the Stoke goal scorer, but it's picked up by Chemadu, whose own goal has given Norwich a measure of comfort at 4-1. Meinhof plays it up towards Sam Gallagher. It's over his head. Header by McConville away. Fisher then gets to the loose ball. Slimani nods it on, but not with any conviction. He's allowed Stoke to get possession back too easily here. But Slimani takes it back off William Mainhoff and then is penalised for the foul. 4-1 to Norwich City. And again, I know they've scored 3 goals in this second half, but you'd probably say Norwich's most impressive spell was at 0-0, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where they started the game.
And
but the difference is they took the chances in the second half.
And it hasn't been as straightforward and as comfortable as what the scoreline perhaps suggests.
And Mainhoff floats one into the box, Gunn comes to get it. And Stoke can't get one back there. Stoke have only scored, well, before today, 10 away league goals. Only Plymouth have fewer than that, with 6. Oxford have 10 as well. Stoke have moved up to 11 for away goals this season, but they ended up being swept aside by Norwich here, who, when they do get going at Carrow Road this season, do get goals. And here's Jacob Wright. Can they get a 5th, just as they did against Swansea recently? Slimani running through the middle. He's got Cresceni outside, and Cresceni in the penalty area, taking on Chemadu, who's just scored an own goal, and he waits until it gets a flick off Chemadu and then goes behind from Norwich corner. We're in the 90th minute. Norwich City 4, Stoke City 1. It's a little bit like the Swansea game recently, in that Norwich, the scoreline looks comfortable, but it hasn't felt as comfortable as this all afternoon, has it?
No, it didn't, until that third, maybe 4th goal went in. That was the only point in the game in which we felt kind of relaxed as to the outcome of the game, whereas, up until that point, there's worries about Norwich conceding or giving away a silly goal, and it just never felt like we were completely dominating the game, although we'd created chances first half.
What's happened here in the penalty area? Norwich are getting ready to take the corner, and Sienats has just fallen to the floor. Sam Gallagher standing over him. Shane Duffy is saying that we're suggesting there was something there has happened off the ball. He's been stood on. It's his left ankle that he's feeling. To his feet now, Sienats. He's going to be okay. Off the ball for nonsense in the penalty area here. 8 minutes of time added on. They might not be home and hosed yet, Cootie. 8 minutes of time added on.
I mean, he's the one that's gone down. He's the one that's instigated that. He stamped on the Stoke player's leg first, and then the other players had a little tap back, and Sienats just fell on the floor. But again, it's one of those, if VAR sees, he's in trouble there, because it's a deliberate stamp on.
Right corner, in from Norwich City, headed away, but it might fall for Schwartau on the edge of the box. Bouncing shot through. Duffy's going to head it back, but he was in an offside position. The flag goes up. 8 minutes of time added on. Quite sure we've had 8 minutes. We've had lots of substitutions, haven't we? Sargent needed some treatment.
4 goals.
But 8 minutes seems
3
like
goals.
a lot. 3 goals second half.
Yeah, it does seem a lot.
But let's see. Norwich 4-1 up. Just that long spell of stoppage time to deal with. They've got 3 centre-halves on the pitch, but Stoke have managed to get to in between the lot of them here with William Mainhoff, who crosses from the left-hand side. Duffy's there to clear it away. Throw in Stoke over on the far side. I mean, if Norwich were only 2-1 up, then 8 minutes of stoppage time went up. My goodness, you would have heard some noise, but 4-1 up, it feels very different. Rob Butler's made his way over towards the Barclay end. We'll hear reaction from the Norwich crowd during Canary Call, with Adrian Coots and Rob a little bit later on. The tackle from Sorensen on the edge of his own penalty area. He finds Slimani. Here's Ben Cresceni on the left-hand side. Norwich have been able to take off Sainz and Sargent and Nunez as the game has gone on. More of a concern about Lewis Dobbin, who scored in the first half but didn't reappear for the second. There wasn't an obvious injury in that first half. We'll have to find out what the issue is there. When we get a chance to speak to Johannes Softorp, and we'll bring you that during Canary Call. And if you don't hear it in Canary Call, don't worry, they'll be up on BBC Sounds later on. Don't forget to subscribe to the scrimmage feed on BBC Sounds, and we'll get a daily update of all things Norwich City on your feed. Here come Norwich, looking for a 5th. Slimani carrying the ball well through the middle of the pitch, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Slimani up, Cresceni on the overlap, feeds it into the 6-yard box. Oh no, it's been put over the top by Schwartau. Glorious chance, absolute sitter inside the 6-yard box. Ball was perhaps slightly behind him and he hooked it over the bar, but should have scored.
You're giving him too much credit there. Part of me hoped the linesman's flag went up to rescue him there, because he's half a yard out and he's not just put it over the bar, he's put it over the bar by quite a lot.
Yeah, it seemed to hit his standing leg, didn't it? Let's have a look. So Slimani finds Cresceni, who feeds it brilliantly through the 6-yard box, and he's just a bit too casual, isn't he?
Yeah.
He sort of gets ahead of the ball.
Head over the ball, side foot it, But great build-up. Slimani and Cresceni down the left-hand side did really well to work it. Needed finishing off that.
Yeah, it should have been a goal from Schwartau. Thankfully, shouldn't matter. 4-1 Norwich lead. But ever since the first half, they have opened up Stoke, haven't they? When Norwich have hit anything like their stride, They've opened them up time and time again. Slimani's had a decent game in the midfield. And they still want more here, Norwich. Fisher on the right-hand side, deep inside Stoke territory. It's a long, sweeping diagonal ball to Cresceni, who chests it down well. Keeps it in here, Ben Cresceni. Now Sorensen. Sorensen feeds it into the penalty area from deep. Fisher's arriving. It won't find its way to him, though. Thompson, the defender, will see it drop behind for a goal kick.
Just that point you made about carving Stoke apart makes it all the less difficult to understand when you get that first goal why you wouldn't want to continue to take game to them and try and get a second or a third. And you know, although our best spell has come in the first half, you know, in the second half we have managed to see the game off by getting that goal and carrying on pressing.
I know the top six perhaps looks a little bit unlikely for Norwich City. They've dropped a few too many points in recent weeks, you would think. But when you see them score these goals and fall like this at home, it just makes you wonder whether there might be something that could fall their way. If they can hit this sort of form and open teams up like this that often, they've just got so many goals in them, haven't they?
They have, yeah. And you know, I don't know whether they've scored considerably more at home in a way, but it feels like they've been able
by some distance.
Yeah. Been able to pick wins up away from home.
Yeah, I'll tell you in a minute exactly what the difference is. That's now 40 goals at home and 14 away.
Wow, so there's some difference there.
There is some difference for Norwich City. Here's Cresceni. Finds Slimani, but you think they've scored 4 against Hull, 4 today, 4 against Luton, 6 against Plymouth, 5 against Swansea. Whereas when Norwich are in the mood, they've taken some championship opposition to the cleaners this season.
So you can understand a little bit about why that expectation there. You look at the previous games, Derby, Preston, where it hasn't turned out like that. You know, why there's that sense of disappointment and missed opportunity.
It's Cordova for Norwich City. Plays it short to Sorensen. Jacob Wright with a quick touch, but there's a lot of players to get through there. And Seko gets it back for Stoke, but there's Slimani still putting himself about late in the game, but couldn't get past him around there, and Stoke have got possession back. We've still got another 3 minutes of this to go. 95.5 minutes on the stadium clocks at either end of the ground on the scoreboards. Norwich 4-1 up. Stoke, though, with Phillips, the centre-back, who's gone for a foray forward. William Mainhoff runs into the Norwich penalty area, gets through the challenges, then goes down. The referee gives a penalty.
Such a shame.
Down goes Mainhoff. He was skipping his way into the box there. Seems to go down very easily, but the penalty's been given at the Barclay end.
Yeah, and I just, you know, I've seen the replay and it looked 50-50, soft in real time, but again, you dangle a leg, you just give the referee an opportunity to
gets past
award a penalty.
Duffy dragging the leg. Having seen the replay, Mainhoff's got past Cordoba. Duffy comes to meet him and does leave a leg trailing, doesn't he? And Mainhoff goes over it. So a chance to reduce the arrears here for Lewis Baker, who has scored in this game. He's had one ruled out for offside as well, which he certainly didn't agree with. With the 7th minute of time added on, here comes Baker and he sends Gunn the wrong way. 4-2 at Carrow Road. We've still got a minute and a half to go. But Lewis Baker's penalty ought to be no more than a consolation for Stoke. There's not even much of a celebration for the visiting fans down below us. 4-2. A lot of them left at 4-1, didn't they?
They did. Just, you know, if ever there was a way to kind of sum up what it is to be a Norwich fan, it's just that, you know, being comfortably ahead 4-1 at home, seeing out the game, you know, a couple of minutes of stoppage time left, and you still managed to find a way to concede.
Here's Duffy in possession, finding Sorensen, who now gives it to Cordoba. Cordoba up towards the halfway line. Cresceni outside him on the left. Cresceni steps in field for Norwich City. Gives it to Jacob Wright. Right to McConville on his Norwich debut. 6 goals. Here's Duffy to Cordoba. Cordoba to Cresceni. Now Slimani on halfway. Slimani plays it up towards Fartau on the edge of the box. Stoke get there with the first header and the second, but Norwich sends a chance to get back on it. Brilliant control from Jacob Wright. Plucks that one out of the air. Lays it off to Slimani. Sorensen then passes it to Cresceni on the left-hand side. Deep into the 98th minute of this game. Norwich City 4, Stoke City 2. Here's Sorensen. Back towards the halfway line of McConville. Now Duffy. And there ends an eventful game at Carrow Road. where Norwich City have returned to winning ways and rediscovered their goal-scoring touch as well.